Alright, I'm gonna be reacting to Keffals' interview first. I wanted to watch this video uh, just more of like curiosity of what Chris is gonna say. This one be the first video I'll react to since this is the shorter one of the two. The other one I wanted to react to is MamaMax. I think, I really didn't know much about MamaMax until like I've been watching other people talk about him. He seems like a very weird guy. Very odd guy. I'll get my thoughts more out when I watch the video, but first let's watch this to see if there's anything interesting.
So I know when I put this interview up, like a lot of the people who are going to watch this already know who you are. But
Yeah.
It's
I guess
him.
what I wanted to ask, like starting this off, is for the people who aren't familiar with who you are, how would you describe yourself?
Well, my full name, which I'm looking to legally update soon enough, this is Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sancho Prime, and I am the prime of all
I always laugh when he says, I'm Jesus Christ. Oh, Christ.
myself counterparts throughout the multiverse. But essentially, who and what I am actually the one avatar of all existence, but I'm also the artist and
I changed my mind. I'm turning on my camera. Fuck this. Where is it? Here. 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 I think it's, be pretty interesting for my reactions in general. Because, I laugh too much.
creator and chronicler of the Sachi and Roshu species, especially in particular that of the specials, which are the ones that have more abilities in them as opposed to the regulars, because the Sachis and Roshus, they are species of Pokemon, electric hedgehogs, along with their evolved form Metaxas and Vamprosis and their pre-evolved form Size and Rosies, the baby Pokemon, you know. But anyway, so
He's talking about this so seriously.
I've written and drawn multiple books, and I'm looking to get back into that much more. I'm going to be expanding my collab a bit, just essentially getting my posse together in a way with help of my friend who's helping me out here, which I'm renting the place I'm in right now. Putting that out there. In case anybody asking, because I know I'm breaking the fourth wall. You're asking. You're asking. Oh, you weens out there. You don't know better.
It must have been
He seems very lively. I think I saw maybe like one Christian like live video when after he came back from jail. It seemed normal, but this he seems pretty lively.
a long journey for you.
Oh, epically.
People have been fascinated with you for more than 2 decades. Like, I've heard people call you the most documented person in history.
I wouldn't say maybe documented, maybe talked about. No, what do you mean say talked a lot? On the internet, talked a lot. There we go.
There have been content creators who have made entire careers just out of talking about you. And I guess I just wanted to ask, what does it feel like to be the closest equivalent of a real world Truman Show?
Oh, that's actually a decent comparison. But yeah, it has its blessings, and then it also has its drawbacks. I mean, shoot, I want to respond to somebody on Twitter, especially on something I feel very passionate about, and then it's like I'll make a comment on like Twitter, like I did recently, and then the weens, the toxic ones, those darkest sinners among the minority, literally 1% of the whole worldwide population, that level irredeemable. But anyway, so just they get on me like that, and they badgered the person that originally posted that tweet, and then that person that posted the tweet that I commented on just blocks me. Well, that's not the answer because they're still gonna attack them regardless. So the thing to do is just obviously just identify those that made those comments, just talk about me, building on to the drama of it all, as opposed to just answering the question of which the individual was talking about and just blocking them who made the comments.
Okay, so I don't know what sort of situation Chris is going on about, but if like other people are like receiving uh negative comments, and you were the reason why those comments were there in the first place. I mean, there's like like they can block either one person, which is Chris, to prevent it in the future, or they can or block hundreds of people, and blocking hundreds of people takes much more time and effort. So I could see
But anyway,
that.
shoot, it's a real mess. So on the one hand, it's just get away to get ahead, get away, clear my head, meditate, reconnect,
Uh,
and just move forward.
How do you move forward from here?
I try to clear my head as best I can. I don't always have the ability to do that, but when I take my deep breath and get into my meditative mindset, and just obviously I connect with everything, but it allows me to get myself grounded, and then I just feel better. Still have the problem mastering it, though. I mean, just between between my body and brain here, just having difficulty mastering my powers and abilities and getting a better understanding of it all. At least we're making good progress along the way.
I guess it's a skill. It takes a long time. I know I still struggle with that.
Yeah, certainly did with me, even in my past lives and iterations of myself.
So, one thing I did want to ask is,
I was gonna speed it up in the
well,
mind.
I was preparing for this interview. I was like
Mhm.
poring over so much of what people have written about you, all of the Christory, they called it. They created an entire new term just to talk about your own personal history. But the thing that's always missing, and why I thought it would be really fascinating to talk to you, is how you feel about it.
The people that talk about it, there are like very obsessive people out there, but I think most of them are just fascinated by it. And
own opinions on these
there's
things.
like,
How would you summarize the last 2 decades of your life since you got the attention of the internet?
Massive, crazy roller coaster. Just, I mean, as I am and as I was in my past life and everything, just I would have attracted all this whether or not we had the internet, but just I have my mixed feelings about it. I mean, I have felt angry and upset with a lot of the downsides and those that
there have you can there are like many videos out there of like him getting angry. His favorite one, no, my favorite one that I saw of Christian was uh, like at the very beginning when people were trolling him, and they were submitting like photos of their dirty house to like uh, Virginia's board of housing or whatever, and then they're like, and then Chris' dad was like, "We gotta take those internet pictures down," and he's like, "I'm on it," and then he's like,
tried
"I
to
need everyone to. I'm gonna shut down everyone. Do it now. Take those videos down now."
like they bullied me, they pick on me, they blackmail to see me, and then obviously just drag my name, my good name, to the worst of mud.
There was never a good name. I mean, Chris was always weird. You could very easily tell him to do something, he would do it, or trick him into believing something. Like when people tricked him in thinking that someone would be his girlfriend, and he was like having like intercourse with a pillow. So there's not like a good name. It's just you're a weird guy, and people are just making fun of you and tricking you.
Fucking bodily fluids and just their whole twisting it around and just making me a whole bad individual, which of course I'm not. I'm very kind. I have empathy and compassion. And in my works, I've managed to try to convey that, but obviously it's not perfect because of the influences from these individuals that just affects not only me but just our entire universe and timeline in general. And then just whew. So yeah,
Crazy. It's fucking
enough. Just
crazy.
enough is enough. Sometimes I just feel I tolerate as much as I can, and of course I keep an optimistic output and faith in the kindness and good and love of everyone in general, including yourself.
I think like
The kindness of Keffals' heart, far from kind, far from it.
every person, even when they're an empathetic person, we all make mistakes. And I guess
Oh, most definitely.
looking back,
I think that like having sex with your mother is more than just a mistake. Is like grotesque, unforgivable, especially like if she has dementia.
do you have any regrets?
Hmm. Uh, well,
Chris
gee,
Chris is hums.
I'd say just essentially let myself fall for the theoretical X's as I call them, and let them do me over like they did. And I'm just gonna name drop this one, Joy,
Oh,
the blue spike that held my PlayStation Network accountable and saw the loss of Sanchi Medallion number 2. Number three's staying longest, testing the time. But that's just the whole thing.
that shit looks like he got like paper mache and put mustard on it to make it yellow.
I'm not gonna go into right now because I think this expression just says enough.
Understandable.
Yeah. But aside from that, I do appreciate that, like, they had to help shape and develop me mentally and emotionally so I could have that damage within me to be stronger and more ready for it in the longer run. So like I
Dude, you're calling yourself Jesus Christ. You're nuts.
actually finally do something about it within like present tense in the recent years, especially after I managed to clear my mind over the past couple of years. So every blessing counts, and then I do observe just the not so good things, which some of them can be considered blessings in disguise when you think about it.
Absolutely. I guess it's just been there's been so many controversies that you've been involved with over the years. And
Oh yeah.
Controversies, let me see. I'm not a Christorian, but I just know some things in passing. One, he had sex with his mother. What's another one? Controversy. I don't know if there were controversies, but like, the Julie thing. But people were just laughing at it. Um, I remember his house burning, but that's just news. What else? I guess most of his stuff is just laughable.
if you could go back and redo any of them, is there something that you would do differently?
Any of them. All right, so
Oh, the biggest controversy, like him doing his love quest around college campus. Crazy.
we do differently. Well, I guess if there's anything I would do differently, it's just try not to react so harshly. Just after I found the Encyclopedia Dramatic page about me back in late 2007, I believe it was.
It's been that long? Whoa. That was like when I was 11, maybe 10.
And then finding
Whoa.
the graphic fan art of
What was I doing? I guess I was just watching Naruto and Pokemon. and doing homework and not on the internet at all.
Rosie Rose Chew,
Whoa.
just being drawn with a. I mean,
I wonder if Keffals is like laughing in the inside that she's doing this interview at all. Because,
yeah. Originally, just like I thought. I mean, she did end up becoming all female, but it turns out she was a male Raichu before she became the very first Rose Chew of all existence in
whoa,
general. And then just obviously physical transition from the chaos energy made her go from being a male Raichu to being a full intersex Rose Chew to being a fully
whoa,
female Rose Chew,
whoa.
which is why she did end up
Sonic True
having the
Lore.
pointed tail, despite the fact that when I originally drew the Raichu in Book Zero, I wasn't totally aware of females' Raichus being different from the males' Raichus, just at the tail between a point to just a flat tip.
It's interesting you bring that up. That actually leads me into a question because I've seen this
Mm-hmm.
criticism be made about you repeat.
Oh yeah, another controversy. Him calling himself female. I guess because he's I don't know. People would
Repeatedly at this point. Are
get
you
angry at
do you
anything.
identify as transgender? There is a rumor that is going around where you apparently are not transgender and your entire transition is a ploy to prey on women.
Oh, good grief. So false. I mean, I've been on the estradiol and the spiral nocturnal for years. I changed the mark of my driver's license from M to F. I grew up my hair for one thing. I think these would also make a statement as well, but my eyes are up here. But seriously, no, authentic. I realized myself as identifying more feminine than masculine. So I literally came out that as that for myself. And I realized I like it both ways, so I fully identify as a bisexual trans woman. Two of the stripes on the LGBTQIA flag
I
colors.
assume that's what the answer was because this seems like pretty cut and paste transphobia that you see everywhere.
I guess it's not transphobia. I think that people are like, we want to make sure that the trans movement is taken serious. And if Chris is in there as one of the most prominent persons on the internet to be called transgender, then people will call our movement as a joke. And that criticism is very valid. Would it not? But
Uh,
I guess that's just my thought
you
of
have
it.
all the homophobia. I mean, I was affected by that as well, and then just the trolls on the internet bullying me and thrusting gay images on me. Like when I had the Wikipedia and the individuals behind that, they just put them on the sides, like these gay boy ads lead to like porn sites or whatever. Just hey, that's a thing. So hey, don't force sexuality on others. Just let them find it out for themselves in their own enlightenments and developments. Period. And just essentially, you find cringe in others. That's because that's a fun. That's you're likely finding something in cringing in yourself. But hey, regardless of your background, where you had individuals that supported who you were along the day, supported others for who and what they were, or not. Just hey, do not judge others for things that you are yourself.
There were people who were telling me when this was announced that talking to you and putting this on a public platform would be irresponsible, saying that you are so mentally unwell and you're neurologically, developmentally challenged that it would actually hurt you in order to talk to you. But I I didn't go forward with any of those concerns because as someone who has been targeted by these hate sites and these stalking sites, I know one
Stalking
of the
sites.
tactics that they often use is to try to alienate people from their victim.
Mm, yep, that's right.
Um,
And it's just that is nuts in general. Pardon
whoa.
me.
For over half your life now, people online have attempted, many successfully, to manipulate you into doing things you otherwise wouldn't do. Even pretending to be your fans in some case in order to convince you that those things were good. Do you find it hard to
Yeah.
trust people now? And what impact has it had on your mental health?
Hmm. I do not find it harder to trust others because it just depends on their intentions, which is deeply resonant from deepest within their energy and their souls, as it were. So it's just my innate sense. It's just like, if their intentions are going to be like, just like somewhere in the middle of the road that veers towards the greed, the hate, and whatnot, then yeah, I could just sense that innately without them even being come close to me. Because otherwise, I would not have. I would not have sensed that Trump was so
Trump,
trying to
what?
think of the
What?
word here, arrogant as he was
Whoa.
long before even the first
Trump was
presidential
mentioned.
debate between him and Hillary Clinton way
Hillary.
back in 2016. I think that was in October, if I remember correctly, maybe September. But anyway, I would not have sensed that long before that. Just that guy was just so arrogant. I mean, you look at his pictures from even before 2016, you would just sense how evil he was beforehand
Whoa,
and
Chris
how
getting
evil he was
political.
going to be. And I'm not gonna say further than that.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up as an example, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, I don't know all of the history of your life.
Christory.
I'm not like
Right.
some of the more obsessed people on the internet who pick apart every little thing. But I know
Mm-hmm.
that there was a group of trolls who were called the Idea Guys. And
Oh yeah,
one of their
just that.
ideas, what they wanted you to do, they were trying to manipulate you into believing that like your cartoons, your comics were real, and that you had mystical powers and there was a dimensional merge happening where you
Yes,
could
he
go
does
to
believe that.
Quickieville.
Mm. Okay, well, for firstly, it's pronounced Quickville. You just say CWC like it's spelled like the word quick. But secondly, no, they were pretty much affirming what I already knew long before they came. Because you look at the multiverse, anything and everything is possible in existence. And just I literally have been to the other half
No, you
of our
haven't.
of our Earth that was divided long ago in
No, you haven't,
1389
Chris.
A.D. by Merlin the magician and two other sorcerers by order of King Arthur herself,
No, Chris.
just dividing the
Stop.
magic and the fantastical,
Chris,
overpowered
those are your
individuals
dreams.
and
This is not
creatures
reality.
into one dimension, and then the Earth that we on the majority that only has like so much magic in it into the other. And the merge is happening where the two
No,
Earth
it's not,
halves are coming back
Chris.
together, and we're all going to be fully tangibly coexistence, which we have been for a long time. But there's been that
Keffals, you're
tangibility
talking to a
veil
crazy
in between
person.
us, but it's thinning even more so. We're able to see everything and everyone more clearly. But going back to the question at hand, Idea Guy, Stephen Boyd, the people and the individuals behind it. Of course, I gotta mention Johnson Wiles, and not just that guy did a really massive tear and wear on the C197 half of our Earth. But fortunately, just because they deviate into multiple differing timelines between when they started in about October 2017 up to about mid-April 2018, just that was a whole bunch of mess and details where, I mean, if you listen to the events between those two dates, late October 2017 to mid-April 2018, you will see like, just
No
fantastical
fucking
things
Chris was
that
this
would not
crazy.
happen otherwise. Just like, if everything continued on as normal, it just, even the most minute of things, you just recognize, be able to sense that. But yeah, essentially what they did, they worked through me, and it just kind
They
of like
worked through
the
you?
manifest in many ways for everybody and
Bro,
everything
they
on
were
1218
making this
half. But
shit
by
up.
the end of it, I was able to undo all that and clear it up, and I get just a better understanding and appreciation of everyone and everything in general, period. Despite what they did.
Do you ever worry though that
What?
people are able to convince you that you already had an idea in the first place?
Oh, I don't need convincing because it was an innate thing that I was aware of since I was born, but I never realized. It's like you could say, like, first perspective. Oh, sure, everybody has that. They just can't see themselves unless they look in the mirror. But no, I mean, aside from everybody just being like a typical camera, just being like background individuals, I'm literally the real player one. My perspective is camera 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Whereas, everybody, like, next individual's like camera one, camera two, so on.
Of course, I don't want to
Yeah.
attack. I
What?
don't want to attack your beliefs. Like,
Attack it. Come on. Come on, dude. It's crazy. It's nutto. You're the person that fucking thinks the religion is fucking crazy.
In
It's
the
not
realm
just a
of like
matter
the
of it's,
multiverse, like the chance of of all of those things actually being real, there's no way you can say for certain it's a 0% chance. Just like any possible thing could happen in the multiverse.
anything is possible. So if anything, all they are doing is just affirming and helping me get a better understanding for myself, which I further realized in my better meditations after I cleared my head and everything.
I want
Bro, you didn't even get the idea until they told you.
to ask the hard question now. This is the hardest question that I had planned for the interview, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying this ahead of time. But from what I understand,
Is the audio desynced right here?
you were an inmate at Central Virginia Regional. I had planned for the interview.
Realized in my better meditations after I cleared my head and everything.
I want to ask the hard question
Who
now. This is
fucking
the
did
hardest
editing on
question that I
this?
had planned for the interview, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying this ahead of time. But from what I understand, you were an inmate at Central Virginia Regional Jail from August 2nd, 2021 until your release on March 27th,
Who
2023
did the
on
editing?
charges of incest. Those charges were dropped
That's
in
horrible.
August of last year. Now,
Mm-hmm.
people have seen all of the criticisms made about you. They've gone through the court documents, they presented it all over the internet, in the news, etc. But what I've never seen about this side of the story is how this all played out from your own perspective. And I was wondering if you could tell us all how that happened.
Of course. Hand over heart and hand above truth and
That's
only
not
the
your
truth.
fucking heart. That's your fucking.
So anyway, so what
Your
essentially happened,
ribcage.
just get this out of the way, as I mentioned in the earlier video, just there never was anything like that happened between Barbara and I, period. Now, between
Really? I remember. So I do listen to Josh, and I remember him talking about how he got a call. No, he called. No. Yeah, they, Chris and Josh were having a conversation. They were talking about the art and stuff, and then Chris was the one that mentioned that he has a girlfriend, and Josh said that he. No, Josh asked who it is, and Chris acted like that's. I think it was suspicious or like pushing away the question, and that Josh never brought up like, do you have a girlfriend? Chris was the one, and at the time, this was like during the time where like supposedly the Barbara stuff happened. So I'm more lean to believe that he actually did committed the act, the disgusting act.
between the months in which Barbara and I sold on it, all we did was just talk. And just I got to know her a little bit better in her past, okay? Like it's just like her father had died and fell off this wagon way back in the day, and her brother Stanley was the one that found him, and then just essentially told the rest of the family. That was just one story for example, but it's just helping Barbara feel a little better in her later years and everything. All right, just talking and helping her to go back to her history, revitalizing her brain cells and everything. Now, aside from that, so Isabella, so she is very sexually perverted and kinky, and she had the
Don't say that word.
idea of just setting me up to have sexual relations with this girl Fiona, who ended up in a mental institution for a week, and recording that on the assumption that Fiona was underage, which at that time she was not. She was literally 19 years old at the time. But then there was this, but yeah, Fiona, but then Bella. She also tried to get me, or rather persuade me into other sexual deviations, of which I declined. And she actually
Really?
got me to go into role play and fictions, of which she presented like just various things, and like some of these were actually written in fanfics by others because in this timeline and here because shoot, what are they gonna do? Just they have their own crazy wiles and everything, just nuts. But anyway, so she just kept on presenting the ideas, and I went along with her because as a friend and to test her out, see what she would do in the outcome. Because there were the four known outcomes in regards to Everfree Northwest 2021, the convention. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just checking my notes here really quick. I had this written down before this. I thought I'd meditate on it in recollection. But yeah, she essentially failed the test when she took all that of what the video calls we did, and she spliced them all
Test
together.
of
And
their
she admitted,
loyalty when you clearly know that this person is crazy, nutto. And then later we found out that she doesn't wash her feet to make people smell them. Nutty person.
Discord server and uploaded that video. Had her comrade just call the police on me, reveal my location. They came to force me out of the house, and then came to get me and all of that. And which obviously her intentions on that were essentially making myself go into being unalive. You know, just that's no good. Or just get institutionalized or end up in jail. But since I had the choice, I let myself be in jail. And of course, I used
Oh,
that
really?
time to meditate, clear my head, and really understand and further and really realize myself, my
When you were first kicked out of Barbara's house, you immediately try to withdraw, I think it was $200 from Barbara's account to go buy Transformers at the toy store at a mall. And Josh said, "Did you just withdraw $200 from Barbara's account?" And then you lied to him saying no, when you did. And then he said, "I'm not going to help you out." And then he reported the 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 report of him touching her account because the instructions were given to Chris was, do not interact with Barbara, do not take anything from her because you have there's a restraint against you.
role and everything that is going on has been going on was going on at the time during the jail and future tense and even present tense this day, this time, this moment. But anyway, I'm just checking my notes here. Oh, right. But yeah, essentially that was it. Essentially, she wanted me to fabricate all of that, which was just in a distant alternate timeline, very distant, but did not happen here.
So in a different timeline, he did have sex with his mentally ill mother, but not this timeline. In a different timeline, very far off.
It never happened here in this timeline. And just what she did, just essentially to try to get me to become unalive and whatever, still backfired on her, but it moreover was a good point to me because I managed to clear up.
It did backfire on her. Yeah, I do agree with that. People found out who she was, her stinky feet. Her parents were some FBI agents or something like that. They were doxing the Kiwi farms for quite a while because, they have higher power or money or whatever to try to hide their daughter's stinky feet.
I got to clear my head and stayed alive. So that's a testament to it's like, no demonic or devil persuasion is ever going to make me or force myself to become unalive in general. And I bet it's just a further testament of where I can count my blessings along even the darkest of situations. And by the way, I really have no idea where they got the idea of where I ended up in prison because there's a massive difference between just a community jail and a prison. It's just
Yes, prison is for convicted, jail is for waiting to go to court. Yes. But people just use the word jail just because people just use it. I mean, when people think of jail, or like you're not or in prison and jail, they just think of the same thing. You're behind bars, so it's perfectly understandable why people
These wings,
confuse
these
them.
toxic individuals, they just can be so really, really stupid sometimes. But
I'm
anyway,
sorry if I said that. I'm not an American. I don't know like the distinctions very well. But I guess jail is regional, like a state, and like prison is a federal
No.
institution.
yeah, definitely. Mm. But anyway, so I did. So in a way, I did end up in
Hmm.
an institution, but I kept myself grounded and all that along the way during those couple of months, and just let everything go along and play out as they were. I confirmed the details along the way to the newspaper. I'm so glad we got Brittany Griner back. And just unfortunately, we had to get the Black Merchant of Death end up back in Russia. But fortunately, since Russia is the modern day Babylon, going down, and so is Vladimir Putin by his own sword. Feel free to mark my words on that.
Well, Chris,
It's interesting
what's with these weird black cutouts?
because this time period is actually where
It seemed like they cut off some parts.
I get involved in this entire story somehow with kiwi
Hmm.
farms because while you were in jail, they didn't have you to talk about and they were
Keffals thinking that the reason why people were talking about her was because Chris was in jail is stupid. There were so many people to talk about when Chris was in jail. You had like Footy Booty, you had Cobes, you had shit tons of people that people were talking about. Now you have newcomers like Cobra, no, Cobra, like Ricada and Boss Man. There's like a bunch of people. There's a bunch of people that were talking to. The reason why they were talking about you is because your mods, I think it were their mods, were promoting bathtub estrogen and were selling it illegally to children. That's why. It wasn't because of like you're interesting or funny to watch or anything like that. It's because people were calling you out, and then you try to blame the try to play a victim game, and you try to play victim and try to get the website shut down. That's why they were talking about you. It wasn't because like you're like Chris Chan. It's because you're an asshole, and you were friends with people that were doing illegal stuff, and they were talking about it in your thread. That's about it.
looking for new people to talk about. And that's when they found me.
The ego of thinking the only reason was because Chris was away. Stupid.
Yeah, and not only you, but just everybody else in general. Period. I mean, shoot. Hey, who wants a Locale of the Year award? Nope, nobody.
No one wants this.
And yet I end up with a 3D
Ricada wanted it. He accepted it like a champ.
printed cow in the mail one year,
Ricada's
many
only
years
one.
ago, just painted gold. And it was like, okay, here's your you've been elected Lower Cow of the Year. I think this is back in 2014 or so, give or take. I forget when exactly, but still, just
The thing that you're saying with Isabel Janke, I think, really goes back to what I was saying before, where people try to manipulate you into doing bad things, into hurting you, and trying to
yeah,
convince you and plant the idea in your head that going forward with it is a good idea. And I you have a lot more life experience than me. I don't want to be in the position of trying to say what you should and shouldn't do. But I just hope
right.
that you take care of yourself.
Yeah, I do take care of myself, and I'm
Wow, someone has willpower to not do something terrible. It seemed like Keffals was talking like that because they wanted to do something. And then they were surprised of how powerful Chris's willpower is to not be convinced to do something like that. Something happened. something happened. Someone got to
Just
Keffals.
progressing better. I got a lot more good friends available by my side. I'm running up my posse a little better. Things are shaping up for me, and not just for me, but for everyone else in general, as we have a lot less and less of the toxic and evil, darkest sending individuals in coexistence with us. That number is decreasing.
So, are all of the charges now dropped?
Yes.
Okay.
No, okay.
I knew about the one, but again, I don't look. I'm not one of these obsessed freaks. I mostly wanted to do
Yeah.
my
Keffals looks so weird. Ugh.
due diligence because I know there's going to be a lot of people. Like when I said I wanted to do this interview, there were like dozens
They
and
look
dozens
fake.
of my fans who said they weren't even aware the charges were dropped. As people only follow to hate you. They don't care about the good news. They don't want to see you do better. So the good things that are happening in your life, they never get publicized.
What? It's like saying like a person that helped old lady cross the street didn't get noticed by the news media. Of course not. People don't report on fucking good stuff. They report on fucking negative stuff. Negative stuff gets views. When Chris was doing his art stuff before he went to jail, like people were talking about it. But yes, of course, people wanted like negative stuff to happen because that's what gets more clicks. But like, kind of like this is like dumb.
Yeah. There's just hey, they have all these outdated concepts of being. I mean, they just want to be like, they think I weigh over 250 pounds or so, like oversensitive. But no, last time I checked on the scale, I was around 215.
Well, like
And
that's any good.
and obviously I do work out. I go out. I exercise
Doubt, X to doubt.
a lot. I mean, I got Pokestops and a few gyms nearby here, so I
Oh,
can
a
optionally go
Pokemon
out and play
Go
Pokemon
player.
Go if I just every day if I wanted to, or just whatever. And but yeah, I do my own thing. Though my habits are rather kind of inconsistent, there's still some inconsistency. I mean, there's still some consistency in my habits. Like obviously I do shower daily. I do not stake. Wherever you got that idea from, just yeah, have you ever met me in person? I take my showers. I wash myself with soap and water. I do not just use the spy spray as y'all have misconceived of that. I mean, yeah, it's a good body spray. It makes
About
you smell
that.
better in the armpits at least, but it's no substitute for good old fashioned soap, water, shampoo, and conditioner.
I have an interesting question because you've been
Yeah.
harassed and stalked far longer than you've been out as trans. Like this happened years before you came out.
Oh
What's the
yeah.
difference been? How is it
No
changed since you
difference.
came out as trans?
No
I'd say
difference.
kind of more or less the same. So
That's not what Keffals
obviously,
wanted to
they
hear.
were aware of me being not on the normal. Uh, I'm trying to think of the word there. Uh, well, I would. Well, they just pretty much were on the idea that I wasn't straight in a way, sexually. I mean, obviously, it's like came out from my voice tones or from something I've written or drawn in my books in the past, whatever that they just pieced together. Which ultimately it ended up being true when I just figured out for myself. And just now that that's out of the way, it's been confirmed I'm bisexually trans woman. It's just I kind of feel like there's a slight decrease because they know that of me. It's kind of confirms that's one less thing of them for they to pick on me about, especially since that's more or less becoming acceptable. Though obviously it could become more acceptable in the longer run in certain countries, which that is going to be fact and true eventually. But it shall be good anyway. Anyway, yeah, but then there's like a slight increase on the other aspects as well, and just whatever things they're just gonna pick on that's they find from within themselves, respectively, that they just thrust onto me in a similar way or another that they just think is just totally cringe. Just they're gonna tap me for that. But
I think that's how I think I remember someone telling me that the way that Chris operates on like doing insults is he does insults of what he would find it insulting to himself. So because he thinks like that he believes that other people believe the same thing as he does. They insult because it's what they would feel insulted by. It's very stupid to think like that. But hey, whatever.
But in reality, it's like they're attacking themselves for what they were. Like obviously, like some of them, they could be gay, and they're just attacking me because yeah, you're bisexual, you like dicks as well. But hey, you know what? Those individuals, they like dicks as well, and they
No,
should not be criticizing or judging others based on what they are themselves,
retarded.
regardless of their background, upbringing, and those that may not have been fond of the just LGBTQIA and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of things they could reflect from all that in changing for themselves. But also in another way, as they talk it out, they're also just getting a further processing and understanding for themselves. They're innately meditating and connecting without totally realizing it. Though some of them they just want to remain like closed off and want to stick to the old iterations. So outdated, so last century. Hey, 2006 call. They want their kick the autistic gay back. They want their kick the LGBTQIA individual back,
Okay.
and so forth.
Now that you're out of jail and all of this stuff is behind you, how are you planning on moving forward with your life?
Well, present tense, I'm moving forward with living life. Like I said, going back to writing and drawing the science sheet books, there's a lot more details and everything, which I was actually able to get in one or two of my recent live streams, including reading Act 4 of Chaos Crystal Control
No one cares
early
about
on with
it.
her. And even like, just like, I'm going to name drop a few. So Dr. Wolf, Lightning Bliss,
Does anyone actually read
and
this?
yeah, and Matt Munchkin, just to name a few. Oh, the Elbash Scribber. I really love her, by the way. She just does great, excellent voice dubbing and comic dub reading. Anyway, just a very kind individual in general. But anyway, just more than them, and there are a whole lot of others as well. They just literally end up going back to 2006. I don't have the exact date in my mind because nobody, not even me, can know that. Not even just unconsciously, because that is in the divine plan as known from within the light sources and the heaven realm and among the gods and goddesses and everything in this universe and in this timeline set of universes, but moreover in this universe. But then also beyond that to literally the alpha omega point of all existence, the
What?
beginning and end of all timelines.
Thank you so much for
What?
coming on the show.
That was so good. I think I learned. What did I learn? Whoever edited the interview did a shit job. It feels like there were two segments were cut, so it definitely felt like Keffals was trying to fish for something, in particular about the kiwi farms, or the owner of the kiwi farms, and he really didn't say much, so probably he had nothing bad to say about Chris, because why else would she talk to Chris? Unless she wanted to get like something from him to say, uh, anything that Chris said that was interesting. His fucking dimensional merge and all that still dumb. Still dumb. Keffals looked weird. It's like they're looking at a rock in the other side of the room. They just look off. Okay, let me see. What are the comments like? How would you describe yourself? I'm actually the avatar of all existence. And the creator of Sonic choose. Wild when Christian asks to list regrets. In response is Blue Spike. Release the uncut version. I know you cut. Yeah, like release the uncut version. Like if you want to do the interview with Christian, just release the whole entire video. But they probably won't do that because it would show what they were really after. And I do believe what they were after is uh, bad stuff said about Josh Moon because she really doesn't like him. Lack of remorse. What she did is engaged in. You see the here chatter. This didn't happen in this dimension and happened in an alternative timeline in a far, far, far distant. Can I reply? Yes, I can. You see, good sir, the R word did not happen in this timeline, but a very far, far, far distant timeline. The Alpha timeline Chris did nothing wrong. Yes. Beautiful. The reason people think Christian is faking being trans is because Chris literally said so. When? That's actually very interesting. When? So I don't really have. Doesn't matter either way. Chris will never be a woman, and she. Yeah, and then she said there that she isn't faking it. That is interesting. If Chris actually did said that they're faking it, like I wonder where. The difference between jail and prison is that jail is before trial. Yeah, I already explained that. Charges were dropped because litigation was no longer worth it, and it is as the time spent in jail equal to the maximum time would be given for the charges. Yeah, so they were dropped because he would have served his time in prison. Mixed about interview, ignoring whether Chris is trans or not. What? I'm mixed about the interview, ignoring whether Chris is trans or not. It wasn't ignored. They talked about it, and Chris is like, "Yeah, I am a transgender lesbian woman," something like that. Kind of Cliff knows the Christine history, but I mean, why bother doing an interview? Like Keffals did the interview. Why bother doing an interview if you're not going to like at least do some homework? I mean, it's very basic history. I mean, there are people that do like a very compressed version of Chris's history, the most important parts. You don't need to know every single detail about the Pickle Man or Liquid Chris. You just need to know like the bullet points. You don't need to know like when Liquid Chris was playing the real guitar while Chris was playing the Guitar Heroes guitar for a competition. Well, anyways, I wanted to do the real video. This video is what I wanted to watch. It'll be interesting. I probably will not be watching the whole thing because it is getting late and I am getting sleepy. So let's get started with this one first. It's getting a lot of views on Nic DeOrios channel. It's time. Okay. Let's watch.
Get started today, I'm going to be clear and concise about what this video will prove. Today, you're going to see undeniable evidence that MamaMax is a complete and total fraud. He is a content creator who claims his platform exists to empower abuse survivors, and the reality is, MamaMax is a liar. His actions in the past and present paint a far
MamaMax is not a liar. They're going to expose these pedophiles wherever they go.
more sinister picture. Right off the bat, this video does contain clips of the leaked recording between myself, MamaMax, and Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers. If Max has an issue with how he is portrayed in this video, I consent to the full call being released. I am not afraid. In the event where Max tries to bully me with threats of getting my channel banned, this video removed, or anything else through use of YouTube contacts, which he has done to content creators who have exposed him recently, I will not hesitate to drop our full, uncut recording for the entire internet to see. I will not be silenced, and you will get everything that's coming to you.
Max is supposed to be the one bringing the story across to everyone. And yes, if in the case that everything is actually...
Why is it my job? Yeah, why are you putting it all on me? Like,
because it's your case!
It's your video, bro. You're the one that's talking about it, bro.
Okay, a few months ago, the YouTuber named MamaMax asked me to react to his content and promote the massive investigation he was about to release. Max Striker claimed to be exposing a depraved individual who used social media to lure society's most vulnerable into compromising situations.
Really?
Cameron Gerard Davis has been accused of masquerading as mythical creatures such as werewolves and vampires in the hopes to lure children, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, is what I would have said if Max's videos on the subject weren't terrible.
Today we're going to be talking about a YouTuber that's been going really wacky wild as of late.
This video is going to be on a more serious topic. I'm sure most of you know who a creator by the name of MamaMax is and the controversy currently surrounding them.
It was probably me and Nick, and that was about it. You can see as this goes further, this guy has serious hero complex. Like he really believes that he's a hero.
Then you made the third video, which was calling out Moist Critical for not covering the story after you DM'd him like a spurg a bunch of times.
Yeah, still here. You want me to talk about it a little bit? That rubbed me the wrong way. I spent 12 days not doing anything online in bed, and during that time apparently it changed his whole framing of the video in order to make it like a Trojan horse of cancel critical because he didn't respond to my messages and ghosted me.
Imagine Anthony Fantano just
expose pedophile videos.
watching this like that.
You provided evidence that was some girl's testimony, and 4 girls, if not 5, came out with their testimony against you.
what I'm saying is the burden of proof is on them and they didn't provide any.
And it just seems like a dramatized, embellished story. And then this person's talking about it and just saying insane things.
Look at the hand movements. He thinks he's like actually the Punisher. So pathetic.
Max released 3 videos that provide essentially nothing in the form of evidence. The average person can't follow anything he's released so far, and more time was spent responding to critics than providing actionable proof that content creators could use to condemn Cameron Gerard Davis. In fact, after Max threatened me privately for not reacting to his unwatchable video on my...
Your platform has the power to end the suffering. His platform literally is 69,000 videos. Yeah, subscribers. He's talking about his other channel. No, he has even less subscribers. What is he talking about? And the suffering. Yet your silence has been both noticeable and disappointing. I believe in your ability to be more than just a commentator on drama. You have the potential to be a force of positive change. I urge you to watch the attached video and use your voice for a cause that desperately needs it. Your response or lack thereof will not go unnoticed. We are determined to be heard, and we hope to count you among those who stand for what is right.
Main YouTube channel,
Bro.
I cataloged my 10
What a
hours
cunt.
of research publicly in the form of 2 live streams, and my results were astounding.
All right, we're 2 hours in this. We're 2 hours in right now. Realistically, we're another hour and a half on top of our 4.5 hours in. So we're at like the 6-hour mark of understanding what's going on here. And I will point out to you, now that we've hit the 6-hour mark, that I still don't know what Cameron Gerard Davis has done. And spoiler alert, when we hit the 8-hour mark or the 10-hour mark, I don't know how far we're gonna go. We're still not gonna know.
After 10 grueling hours investigating this vampire werewolf cult, I realized I've learned essentially nothing
9
about
hours?
Cameron Gerard Davis, the accused.
On March 18th, 2016, Spencer, a girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously disappeared, lured by the illusion of joining a supernatural family as a vampire on some random corner of the internet. She actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous cult led by a predator posing as a werewolf god.
Max Striker's evidence provides without a shadow of a doubt that this might just be a video of a black man roaring like a wolf with fake vampire teeth in his mouth. Along with this compelling evidence, we also know details about his family, including his mother's name for some reason.
This video is for... I would like to extend my most heartfelt apology that this is how you have to find all of this out. But the fact of the matter is, your son, Camden Gerard Davis, has been victimizing hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of mothers.
You started to like direct your chat to tell them to go reach out to the mom and to the brother to find out information about Camden. Is that that's true, right?
I guess so.
You don't have any proof that they're even involved, right?
Correct. Thank you all for joining the stream and participating in this conversation. We'll see you, probably never again.
And when people asked why his serious allegations were so over-dramatized and hard to understand, this was his answer.
What even is this?
So, the MamaMax universe was a cautionary tale that takes place in a dystopian future where child predators have seized global power, exploiting the digital landscape to entrench their rule. Rising from the ashes of a society that failed to protect its most vulnerable, the children emerged. A covert network of vigilantes inspired by the style of Hotline Miami. Once victims, they are now hunters of the monsters who hurt children. They form a structured rebellion, seeking to dismantle the predatory hierarchy.
Yeah,
What?
I'm sure that helped everyone out. Max claims to be advising and protecting the 8 known victims out of Cameron's
What a fucking joke. His response is that my videos are not exposés, but they're of my own cinematic universe of pedo hunters. What a fucking clown. Anyone that took him serious, I think I remember hearing about his YouTube thing back in the days, like, oh, his video got shut down or whatever, and even then I do remember thinking it's like, wait, this guy's exposing a pedo, but they're exposing it like using their very deep voice. It's like, how does that do any good? But now that we know it's a cinematic universe of him making up characters, and they now do the hunting. I mean, it clears everything up, right? No.
hundreds of potential abuse survivors, and yet we know next to nothing about him or really them. You can hear some spoken word testimony on a separate YouTube channel that was created by Spencer. Who is Spencer, you ask? A survivor who is now living with MamaMax.
I offered because it felt like the perfect storm. Like, it felt like, okay, clearly this is happening for a reason. I figured if I can just document the prime subject of my documentary, then why not just have her live with me? And since she needed a home.
Don't worry, he's hoping Spencer will be financially independent soon.
That's not to say it's going to be permanent. I do want to get Spencer to become independent at some point. We're going to get all her medical stuff done. Basically everything. Like, you need to learn how to drive. We're going to do that.
But for some reason, the strapping young roommates decided to post a 4-hour podcast. Unfortunately for the both of them, the biggest takeaway from that podcast is that Max himself is being investigated by the FBI.
I literally got a card on my front fence from the FBI. They didn't even bother contacting you.
No.
That shows how much more they care about my case than yours.
And Spencer potentially admitted to a crime.
Did you ever recruit?
Yes. So my particular recruitment style, go on Whisper and post about, if you want to join a family dynamic, hit me up on Kick. There was one time he did.
Kick. There's like, if anyone cares. Let me see, go to YouTube. Let me see, where is it? Some guy I subscribe to. Fuck. To actually find them. But they did like a very good podcast with, like, he was talking to like 2 people about like let me see. Maybe it's on my home. Nope. Because usually it sometimes appears up here. I guess not. Well, whatever. I was watching a video and there's this guy that was doing an interview with like 2 people. They both used the platform Kick, which is just a messaging site. They were talking to one person. One person was the person that was like in massive amounts of like group chats of like sharing, you know, adult pictures, and he will like save a bunch of adult pictures, and then he was stupid enough to save pictures that you shouldn't be saving, and if people won't ask for them, he will give them out like a dumbass. And there was another person that he was also interviewing, and that was like a person that was hacking people that had those stuff so they can prevent more abuse going in the platform. And hearing that the platform Kick again, there are people that are like, whoa, Kick's still alive. It's like, yes, it's still being used, and it's still being and it's used for very, very evil reasons, and should be taken down. If the Apple Store took down the platform Gab out of their Play Store, then Google should take down Kick. Like, obvious.
Have me lure a girl, like, physically.
That sounds fucking illegal. What? I lured a girl physically.
We got an Uber and went and picked this girl up from like 30 minutes away from us.
You're protecting
she was
this
like
person?
13 or 14, and he kept trying to convince me to convince her to have sex with him, and I was like, no.
What?
Thankfully, her parents got her the next day.
What?
Thankfully, her Bro, you lured them.
Me and Kayla are pretty sure
Listen,
that
Max.
he went over there
Max, you're housing this person?
and he raped her, after I was with my foster parents.
When your victim is going to talk about something where they're potentially implicating themselves in a crime, I mean, I don't know what age they were at the time, but regardless, like, you should absolutely be seeking legal advice before you even think about bringing this up.
Why this was uploaded at all, I will not understand. If anything, they're creating a defamation case for the man they hope to put in prison. MamaMax has chose to make a schizophrenic ARG adventure instead of a detailed allegation video with supporting evidence, so he can help protect and support women who put their trust in him.
Honestly, you do understand, if you go to court, they can pull these live streams for court. You do know that, right?
Xylee's voice is
We're not going to court, Xylee.
So what are you doing? Just hunting them down like a deer? Is that what we're doing?
Have you not been listening the stream?
I think Xylee's voice reminds me of my aunt, and that's why I don't like it.
So when we reached out to the lawyer, he told us it would not be beneficial to pursue a case against Camden Gerard Davis because he likely does not have substantial assets. So he recommended that we all go in person.
So you plan, okay, so you do plan to go to police, right?
Of course.
If you go to police and they say, okay, yay, we're going to go get him or whatever, I don't know, live in a dreamland, whatever you want to feel. Are you going to court after that?
I'm unsure about the entire process. I think that's the job of the district attorney, but y'all would likely, the survivors would likely.
Years of hunting, he doesn't even know the process.
Is your answer right there. You've been doing this for 5 years and you don't know how the process goes? How many people have you actually caught?
I've never been to court.
MamaMax claims to have hunted predators for years, but it is more than evident that he has no idea what he's doing, and now his past has begun to come under fire.
Well, I guess the question is like, the Nick's getting at is like, okay, so you want to enact this change. What do you hope is the eventual result of your video?
Okay.
Of all this.
So I know there's people out there saying I'm doing it to self-serve. I just want my video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. The rapist that was in the video is currently in police custody.
Was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
I'm so sick of having predators that run away like Pablo Sonny and we don't get them. I am investing all of me into you and the survivor, Spencer, because
MamaMax claims he needs help from all of these YouTubers, from, checks notes, Joe Rogan to Anthony Fantano, yet he refuses to accept any form of criticism with a subject matter that matters.
Imagine asking for Joe Rogan's help, and then at the same time you're saying, Nick, your presence can change everything.
And participants who deserve better.
Look, I want to see this asshole, and if what you're saying is 100% true, I want to see this motherfucker behind bars. But there's a way to present this, there's a way to handle this before you get to that point, right? And that's what we need to be focusing on. That's like where everything needs to be centered on. It is where I'm at, and that's all I really can say about the situation.
I would have really appreciated this like 2 months ago when we first reached out. I reached out to you and multiple other creators asking for help, and none of you were responsive. I understand y'all are busy and doing your own things, but this is the first time I've ever handled a case of this complexity and magnitude, and that is why I was asking for help. To those of you who are saying I was putting the blame on Muda, I am not, but I do acknowledge that I need help with this case. That was my point, and
how about you call the police next time? That's obvious answer number one. Go to like the police station and say, I need help to gather evidence against this person who is potentially targeting victims and abducting them.
The first thing we definitely need to discuss is Max's failures in his current ongoing investigation. And these are failures, by the way. The vast majority of help that Max has been able to provide with his deep skill set and large platform is a botched social media campaign called #WeAreReal. The reason I cite this as a failure is simple. Nobody knows anything about the cult that Max claims to be exposing. In fact, I've referred to Camden Gerard Davis as Cameron throughout the previous 10 minutes of this video, and I guarantee that most people outside of content creators who've covered this story didn't even realize that. As we've touched on previously, MamaMax is moved in with one of the many girls that he's currently assisting,
One of
but
the many
records show
girls.
that doesn't always seem to have been the plan.
I want to actually answer some questions about like why we're doing donations through my Patreon rather than a GoFundMe. That is because I'm contractually obligated to see this case through and make sure Spencer is taken care of. Spencer's moving over to me in a couple of days, actually, and we're going to find her own place, and I will be paying for all of it.
Not sure what he meant by contractually obligated, but it sounds to me like Max was planning on getting Spencer a place of her own, but at least right now, they live together. I guess you just can't fake the step survivor atmosphere. But since money was mentioned, just to be clear, in exchange for this person's testimony, Spencer is receiving housing, income from Max's YouTube and Patreon, and also receiving the clout incentive from Max promoting her YouTube channel and placing integral parts of the investigation exclusively over there. This information does not, however, mean that Spencer is lying. What it does showcase is how unethical Max's investigations have been since day one. If Max sweetening the pot isn't enough for you to get outraged over, I certainly wasn't expecting to find out last week on the MamaMax live stream that before all of this, Spencer was Max's close family friend.
Spencer has known my family her whole life. Oh no. She was in the same kindergarten class as my sister.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all understand like the relationship here.
Like my aunt literally knows his mom.
Yeah, like we were friends before we were like actually on a case. Like,
oh no. So just to rip the band-aid off, this is not some stranger that Max is helping out of the kindness of his heart. This is a family friend who's getting a shiny new YouTube channel, some pocket cash to start, and a place to sleep. And for those reasons alone, we could and probably should stop here. Max is not fit to take this case on for Spencer. But it's not just about Spencer, even though it kind of seems that way. 23 days after Max launched the hashtag #WeAreReal campaign, another survivor named Kai, from what is alleged to be her OnlyFans Facebook page, was begging for $20. This $20 would of course be used for wipes, diapers, and eggs for her 2-year-old child. There are now legitimate concerns to raise about how the funds are being distributed to the survivors. And Max, I want to see a paper trail.
To support this effort, all donations received in October via our Patreon will be allocated for this legal process. All additional funding will be used to film this story.
So just to be clear, guys, the money is going to make more of these amazing videos and not to little kids who need diapers.
where's the donations going towards? Not that I doubt it won't be going to a good cause for survivors. It's going to the legal case. Spencer's handling all the money. Oh no. I am sending it to her. She is the financial manager of the legal case.
Oh no. Why is one of the victims in charge of all of the money? Why are you not in charge of all of the money? Ethical complaints and money trails aside, I've already told you Max's videos on Camden are hard to follow. I've showed you an example of how Max responds to criticism as well. Now let's take a closer look at the actual content made for this investigation. Max has released a total of 3 main channel videos on the subject matter of the hashtag #WeAreReal campaign. The first of which is titled Brainwash Your Favorite Influencer.
Brainwash your favorite influencer. Trigger warning. Dear Spencer, initially I was hesitant when you approached me to document your story.
Trigger warning.
Welcome to your programming. Kindly send this video to your favorite influencer.
About a third of this 10-minute video is a criticism of cult psychology, and not even the actual issue. Only a few minutes of the video is dedicated to both Camden and Spencer, and 1 full minute of the video is Max begging for shoutouts from large YouTubers and social media icons. The second video is longer, 25 minutes, and it's predominantly a response by Max to his critics.
Your profile picture already speaks volumes about where you're coming from.
In it, Max complains about the first video bombing, and he bitches about the creators who won't drop everything at a moment's notice and cover the all of 0 evidence he's distributed thus far for the Camden cult.
We proactively reached out to many different reaction channels, hoping to pique their interest in engaging with a topic of such grave importance.
What a fucking F-slur. Why does he do that voice? It doesn't make any sense. I would not take a video like this seriously at all. I would just think it's like some sort of ARG fake video. Nothing more. What a joke. Anyone that took this guy serious in the past, you're all.
Yet the very purpose of the video falls short when these creators stop responding and choose not to engage. Only a handful out of the tons we reached out to gave any type of feedback whatsoever.
Fun little side note, this is actually around the time that Max reached out to me and sent a psychotically worded threat for not covering the story up until this point. Your silence will not be unnoticed. Well, how'd that end up working out for you, motherfucker? At the 21-minute mark, Max throws Spencer on screen to defend him from criticism.
This video feels very exploitative itself.
Your feelings about the video, without explaining further, are noted. Here's a message from the survivor herself.
Oh no!
Hey everyone, I'm Spencer. I am here to talk today about some of the reactions towards the trailer.
Too many piercings.
What I do not appreciate is people being offended on my behalf.
This is the first example of a pattern of behavior exhibited where Max hides behind Spencer to shield himself from criticism. Please note this now, because we will be coming back to it later. Finally, the video ends off with Max retreading a similar story of the allegations against Camden from the video I showed you earlier and in this video.
Hello friends, it's me. Oh, who the heck are you clicking on my video?
Is this supposed to be a serious video?
Well, let me be the first to welcome you to my channel.
Now, number 3 is a weird one. I've gone back and forth on this, but I think I've settled on it being the worst of both worlds and a Frankenstein version of the previous 2 videos. It's another 20 minutes of weird, edgy cult psychology stuff that really makes Max sound like he read a book and a few Wikipedia pages and now thinks he's an expert. This one contains even less about the actual investigation and notably clickbaited Charlie hard. Like a predator hunter clickbaiting Moist Critical.
Whoa.
Is fucking crazy.
Yeah, so here, you want me to talk about it a little bit? That rubbed me the wrong way. We talked like a month ago about like what he was working on in his investigation, and then apparently when I had COVID, he messaged me a couple times and I never saw it, and now he's taken that as me ghosting him and ignoring his very important mission. I had
very
COVID,
important mission.
and I barely used Discord in the first place. It was a miracle I ever even saw his message to begin with, and during that time apparently it changed his whole framing of the video in order to make it like a Trojan horse of cancel Critical because he didn't respond to my messages and ghosted me.
And for what? To just keep crying that nobody gives your case a...
Dear Charlie and others who appeared in this video, I've created a video for survivors of Camden Gerari. And you didn't listen. This is the greatest cancellation of all time at Penguin Zero. We are real. Pathetic.
Free clout transaction? In response to the criticism he got, Max ended up changing the clickbait to Sniper Wolf instead, which I guess is better.
But why? It still says Dear Charlie.
For some reason, because, well, she's liked less. I guess it's a little better, because he
And you have Gerard picked.
doesn't just imply she's a predator like he did with Charlie. It's still weird in my personal opinion, though. Alongside those 3 videos, we also have the 4-hour podcast that I previously mentioned, and it contains entirely spoken word testimony and currently lives exclusively.
Look at that fucking profile picture. They look skinny.
Exclusively on Spencer's personal YouTube channel. This is the most information we've gotten about Camden's supposed actions thus far, and it contains nothing actionable that a content creator can use as a foundation for a video. Finally, there were the main channel live streams, and these are by far the worst of the bunch. Much of the same spoken word testimony exists here. Much of the same poor response to criticism exists here. It's also much of the same in terms of complaining about YouTubers not signal boosting him, but the variable here is that he brings in all of Camden's victims and makes them watch as he debates random people.
I just want to start off with this. As you can tell, I'm very autistic.
Smaggle on the chat.
And I just want to let you guys know that if I slip up and say the R word, I have the pass. So just...
Smaggle, get to the point.
Just so well.
To prove their legitimacy. The constant deflection and usage of survivors survivors envisioned when you told us they wanted to be on the live stream. I'm sure it's what they needed to prove their legitimacy. The constant deflection and usage of survivors is meat.
If you're a survivor of Camden Gerard Davis, please DM me and please tell me that you did not say that ChatGPT can give you good legal advice, dude. Really, please stop being a troll for the sakes of the survivor. At least, thanks. Max is the one using them as a meat shield to avoid criticism.
Shields is also a much more predominant issue on these live streams.
There's a way to present this, there's a way to handle this before you get to that point, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to be focusing on. That's like where everything needs to be centered on. It is where I'm at, and that's all I really can say about the situation. But Max, me and Nux told you about this weeks ago, almost a month at this point. Exactly what I just said right now.
Right, and I am working at the my platform is for the survivors. And if they want to stream, that is what we're going to do. We're going to stream.
The nature of live content is inherently volatile. Everyone knows this. At any moment, you could say something stupid, and now it exists online in some capacity forever. I imagine you're now wondering why anyone in Max's position would want to take civilian abuse survivors and subject them to such scrutiny. I mean, they're building a case to get Camden prosecuted, right? Well, actually, as of late November, an entire month after the #WeAreReal campaign started, it sounded like we were gearing up for a civil case, or at the very least, no one was interested in getting police involved.
When's the last time that any of this has been brought to any authorities, like the FBI or police?
Probably about 3 years ago.
3 years. So you guys, now that you guys have this, and how long have you guys been sort of talking to MamaMax, or how long have you guys been
2 minutes.
For like 2.5 years.
So now that you guys are sort of getting a case together, don't you think it
2.5 years? You should have built up enough evidence, right?
be a better idea to, before the video, to give it to the authorities again, now that you're like all together and you can sort of go as a collective to the police?
I mean, we could have done that, but at the same
what?
time, with the track record that we've already seen, it just didn't really seem realistic without having more of us survivors to do this.
Yeah.
What?
The track record
again, now that you're like all together and you can sort of go as a collective to the police?
I mean, we could have done that, but at the same time, with the track record that we've already seen, it just didn't really seem realistic without having more of us survivors to do this.
How? If I remember wrong, they had like at least 10 people, 10 survivors that they could go to the police to. Why wouldn't 10 be enough? I don't get it.
Yes, I feel the urgency of the matter requires all of us to start bringing the survivors together. I don't want to wait for the bureaucracy of law enforcement to take their time when it's...
What? Bro, they still need to get evidence to put charges on the person. If you're going out there in public saying, if you're a victim, please come to me, then wouldn't that give enough time for a person to run away?
It's already been 7 years.
7 years, whoa.
With multiple reports, like that's ridiculous. And that's also why we're taking them to court as well, because this is absurd.
Yeah, you heard that right. At the time of this stream, they had been working on this case for years and didn't think it was worth looping in authorities in any capacity. The last time cops even saw the Spencer case was well before she looped in MamaMax. While by all accounts this clip is absolutely unhinged, it is worth noting that Max said the exact opposite in his most recent live stream. In fact, I've already played you this clip.
So when we reached out to the lawyer, he told us it would not be beneficial to pursue a case against Camden Gerard Davis because he likely does not have substantial assets. So he recommended that we all go in person to report him to the police station that is in his jurisdiction.
Well, now that you guys are sort of getting a case together, don't you think it'd be a better idea to, before the video, to give it to the authorities again, now that you're like all together and you can sort of go as a collective to the
go to the
police?
So he recommended that we all go in person to report him to the police station that is in his jurisdiction.
This means that after all the videos, streams, and podcasts were filmed, uploaded, and reacted to, Max finally went to a lawyer who basically told him his entire plan for these women completely sucked, and now he's dramatically changing course in real time. Once again, Max is unfit to be spearheading a case of this size.
I designed this trailer as a catalyst for meaningful discussions, laced with hidden layers and nuanced elements to encourage in-depth analysis. These secrets are breadcrumbs that guide viewers toward a deeper understanding of the issue.
Can somebody just show us what he did? Since this situation was so poorly handled, there are still things I'm leaving out just to make the video watchable. But like, why would he change his channel name to God Cult? I'm sorry, I didn't mention that.
After consulting with multiple experts in cult psychology, it became clear to me that many influencers employ cult-like techniques to build and retain their audiences. For this reason, I chose to brand the channel as God Cult.
Like, for his big investigation, he made all of the video metadata unrelated to the subject matter, and he's begging us to take him seriously? Because all that accomplished was making sure his main subscriber base didn't see his big video. In reality, most people probably thought they were subscribed to a YouTuber who was hacked, and this misstep was not just a direct contributing factor, it is the reason his video bombed. Instead of realizing this and...
Bro, people know your channel. If they're like, if that happened to me, if I saw like a channel I didn't know, I immediately unsubscribe, because the only people I've subscribed to is like people that I actually like.
Course correcting, the narcissistic man-child in charge blamed literally everyone else in this situation while acting like he's God's gift to abuse survivors in the same breath.
I had hoped that influencers, especially those who've interacted with my content before, would step up. Unfortunately, it seems that self-preservation outweighs child welfare for most influencers.
For someone who claims to be so righteous and humbly asking busy YouTubers for support, imagine my shock when Muda and I sat down with Max, only to be berated by both him and Spencer for not doing more.
Yeah, why are you putting it all on me?
Because it's your case!
The one bringing it. Why are you
Absolutely. I am the first one.
Yeah.
You are the only one. You haven't convinced anyone to come on board yet.
You haven't convinced exactly.
That's
you haven't
because
made
you haven't been listening to them.
That's because you haven't been giving anybody anything to work with.
Like this for months.
Yeah,
Muta, why
I'm not moving anywhere close to the situation.
Muta, why can't you take initiative to talk to other survivors?
Well, I'm talking to you right now more than anybody else.
And mind you, this is after Max broke Mudahar's trust by using Mudahar viewing evidence privately and signing an NDA so he can't discuss what he saw as like a clout transaction so the audience will believe the evidence exists.
We have evidence in a Discord server.
With other influencers as well.
Yes, you can ask Mudahar if he's seen some of the evidence.
This is like beyond messed up. Here's a prime example of Max using Spencer as a human shield.
Well, I'm asking why you did not directly contact me, but contact us only in public streams.
Let's see, I contacted you November 27th. Max, I've seen your latest video. I've caught up with this whole situation. I have texted you.
What it felt like seeing him on streams?
You went on with Tommy and Lyrics and are sitting there talking to them when you literally haven't spoken to the other survivors.
Hold on.
Isn't it the responsibility of the person exposing something? And isn't it your responsibility to go to the police when the lawyer told you to go to the police? Why are you pushing this on Muda?
Can you put Max on for a second?
I'm right here.
That was snaky as fuck, dude. Oh, I'm coming after you, Mudahar. Stand back, Spencer. Can you tell him what you felt? You are literally just a little snake hiding behind her, dude. That's disgusting.
Can you listen to me? Can you listen to me?
Max is upset that Muda is going against him and flings Spencer at him like a rag doll. Since you already know about the leaked recordings, you should also probably know about the nature of Max's evidence and how Max has come to his conclusions that he's expressed about Camden Gerard Davis.
Well, I addressed him as a cult leader and sexual predator because that's how he has been described by the survivors, and even testimonials themselves serve as evidence in a court of law. So to me, that is is all of the evidence I need to say this man is a sexual predator and cult leader.
So you're saying the allegation in and of itself is
The
the
allegation
evidence.
is evidence.
I'm sorry?
So you're saying the allegation in and of itself is the evidence.
It was everything. It was the evidence that was already there. It was the amount of them. It was the consistency of their testimonials, and it was.
I mean, but like you see like the fallacy in that. Like, imagine if I said, "Max, you're a rapist," and Nick was to say, "Oh, well, that's a statement of fact because Muda made this statement," and that.
You don't have to say Muda made the statement. Say 5 girls said it.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened.
Well,
5 girls said it.
Well,
about you.
After they were in a group chat together for 3 months, after changing their allegations.
Wait, I'm
multiple
sorry.
times.
What group chat are you in? The evidence server with all of the girls?
There is evidence in there. It's not just them plotting to take down.
But there was
Camden.
evidence in the
There was
other one
evidence.
too, right?
Yeah,
You did
there
go
was
on her
evidence that
Facebook and
wasn't available.
If he didn't put the evidence in the video, then he's retarded. But remember, his video is not an expose video. It's like it's a universe, a MamaMax multiverse. Not multiverse, cinematic universe. His own cinematic universe where all the victims turn into hunters.
post the self-harm stuff, you did.
Max texted Anthony early one morning. It was like, okay, a link video, the message that sent to Anthony, and the video Max was something. The video was posted to Anthony's Facebook page, and he was tagged several of my friends reached out to ask what was going on. Anthony called the emergency service to do a witness check. We didn't hear from Max again until summer when he wrote to me a 7 to 8 page letter saying how much he regretted joining the military. What?
Like all those social media messages and stuff like that, that was you, right? Be it not the most important part of the story, clearly, but like it's not like they just lied about you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
You were like the social media part where you put like the self-harm video on Haley's thing. That was real, correct?
Oh yes, that was real.
Oh man, allegations are evidence. Our professional P-word hunter has gone to the same law school as Flamenco. Yes, your ears do not deceive you. A man who himself has been accused of abuse by 5 of his former friends and exes. Max believes that spoken word testimony is more than enough to make the claims he's made here. This justification has been used to dox Camden's mother and swing his audience of rabid abuse survivors in her direction. According to Spencer, Camden's mother had absolutely no knowledge of Spencer living in her home for the entirety of the 4 months she was there. According to Spencer, Camden does not even live with his mother currently. There is no acceptable excuse why Camden's family was doxxed and maliciously targeted by MamaMax. While discussing this case, there have also been real concerns at who Max refers to each time he talks about lawyers.
Okay, so look at what I just sent you.
Yeah, you sent me a ChatGPT prompt, not a fucking legal definition.
We can argue legal semantics all we want. We are not lawyers.
Arguing semantics. We have to look at exact definition, Max. You're going in with evidence that can't be 100% corroborated. You're going in with allegations as an evidence. Courts would
Why
are we talking to your lawyer, ChatGPT, right now? Like, what the fuck is going on?
You know, if I make a video on this, this is what I have to work with. How do you honestly think I can take your side? Logically, if tomorrow I was like, oh, where's Max getting his legal definitions? Oh, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT understands the legal system.
While I fully believe that MamaMax is speaking to legitimate lawyers in some capacity, sending
I
us
don't
something
think so.
like this to explain his position is absolutely absurd, and I find it funny that he wants us to take him seriously. Quite possibly the biggest bombshell in regard to the
Testimonies can't be evidence. Like, for instance, the Bill Cosby situation. Though it happened many years ago, a lot of people came forward to a large amount to the point where they couldn't refute you know, the testimonies, because it was all consistent.
Case, and no, shockingly, it wasn't the allegations or evidence thing, is that MamaMax hasn't even seen all of his own evidence yet.
Holy,
you are putting words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. That's what you said. You said you only verified Spencer's evidence. You didn't even properly analyze or timeline the evidence of the other victims. That's not putting words into your mouth. That's literally repeating.
Can you allow me to clarify them?
Sure, clarify this, please.
I am in the server where they are posting evidence. Not all of them have walked me through what the evidence is.
You've been working on this case for 2 years. What?
As to what the context is.
Okay. So you can't verify the evidence then?
What does that mean I can't verify it?
You can't verify if what they're posting is legitimate.
It means that there's a much larger issue here. Not only do we have no idea what's going on, it seems like you don't know what's going on.
I do know what's going on. I don't know the complete story.
So then you don't know what's going on.
For the complete story. That's your job, just to get the complete story out there. You understand how crazy this sounds?
That is what we are working on.
Why did they come to you? I don't understand. You clearly have never done anything like this before.
And that is why I've been asking for help, Nick.
Why the hell did you make a statement of fact calling somebody a pedophile when you couldn't even properly walk?
Are we gonna keep arguing this?
Yes!
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
We have to keep arguing it because you clearly don't understand the ramifications of what you're doing to this case.
Because you're setting it up for the guy who potentially, like, molested and abused tons of women to take the money you've given these victims in court in a civil case.
I'm going to tell you right now, I actually believe the victims. I think that there is some malfeasance involved, but how you've handled this case and how you've been doing this call so far, you know who has a grounds to sue you? You know who has some credibility to win now? It's Camden.
Not only is this guy not going to go in jail, you're going to end up paying him, bro. You're going to give him money.
You want to read what you read to me earlier?
Yeah, this case is a shit show. It feels like
Even fucking respond to Nick or Muda.
every single answer creates 10 more questions. But what I refer to as an unacceptable negligent failure on the part of MamaMax, some others might try to dismiss as mistakes or
It can't be a mistake. He said that he talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer said go to the police.
being in over his head. So we're gonna have to go deeper, which is fine for me, because these things are usually 4 to 6 feet deep anyways.
Corpse, I know you have nothing to do with this, but with all of your power, influence, and the favor you owe me, I just couldn't help myself. Remember when you reached out after years of not speaking to me while I was at the hospital tending to my sick girlfriend, and you kept trying to rush me home
This is
to
just
do
an act to act scary, like a threat. This is not meant to be taken serious. This is like, ooh, I'm a bad boy. Listen.
you a huge favor. So how about you do me the fucking favor this time and talk about something besides yourself for once? It will give you a good look.
I legitimately have no idea why people are surprised. This guy literally does this every single year. He does weird shit like this every single year. This was another video about predators. Max clout begging is not something new for this case. In reality, Max has been doing this for years in his stupid fake voice. In fact, a lot of the creators he had on board jumped ship after the hashtag #PickAside YouTube fiasco just last year.
Susan Wojcicki, stop fucking lying to us every time you have to give a statement. Either do something good for this site once in your fruitless life, or step the fuck down.
Dude, I think that's why she quit. You got him.
You gonna talk about the YouTube controversy? Is it the whole pick a side thing? I said this about the last thing he did. I think that's the absolute worst way of going about anything ever.
Look, Max being a cringy clout demon is already common knowledge for most, and not really worth investigating further for this video. I just wanted to point this out for newcomers. The real tea on Max's history is related to his previous investigations. Since Max is representing at least 8 survivors currently, how many predators has Max put away in the past?
Is there any proof or evidence that MamaMax has not just got anyone charged or prosecuted. Is there any proof that he's even got anyone arrested that we can see?
Well, 2 years ago we spoke, and he claimed a man by the name of Pablo Sonny was arrested.
I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. The rapist that was in the video is currently in police custody.
Was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video. I don't know if the police asked him to come back, or he went on his own volition, or they forced him to come back. I don't know any of those details. I just know he went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time.
That's all well and good, but Max has been doing this for 5 years, and one single arrest is not really substantial. We also don't really know what happened to that guy. Hardly a success story, wouldn't you say? The main takeaway that I want people to understand is that we don't know how many predators Max has even caught.
0.
Look, people can test this, but unfortunately, we just don't know. We don't have proof of how many predators Max has caught.
Do you think that Mama
All the
Max
predators
has any
ran
arrests?
away.
Like, do you think he's ever actually
They
gotten
flew
a
off.
predator arrested?
I have no idea. Obviously, you're gonna say no, right?
You were in one of his videos, right? Like, he had you in a video.
Yeah.
Had you ever, like, watched his content before you agreed to that?
A little bit, but it was pretty hard for me to get through, honestly.
In one of Max's Predator expose videos, the Discord Max infiltrates, quote unquote, isn't real. He created it with footage to retell his story.
Which basically forced my hand into joining these closed-off communities where they can easily get to me.
So basically, he says he's in this roly-poly's Nanakarobi Yoki, but this is his server that he's set up. He's the admin or mod for this server because you can see he's got the cog icon. Go to your Discord. If you go to a Discord, you see you won't have that if you're not an admin or moderator. But that means that's your server. You're the admin. You've set that up. And the thing is, what people would argue is like, oh well, but you know, he's doing that because he's doing it for the sake of the video. And it's like, okay, well, where's the evidence that he did this thing that he's claiming that he did, joining this server and putting it, you know, he's out here claiming that he's putting himself in danger.
So now it's just up in the air at how much of Max's Predator allegations are actually real. Sure, this detail is largely inconsequential to the story and may appear to just be me reaching. I like to call it laying the groundwork, but nevertheless, we don't know how much of Max's content he's willing to fake. We just don't know. But the last one is the real damning thing here. A long Reddit post went up that piqued my interest recently. Calm down, H-Bomber guy. I'm gonna credit the dude. Maximum Platypus 69 raised a lot of interesting questions about multiple MamaMax previous videos. Remember, if you think we're reaching, this guy hunts predators. There should not be this many questions about things he might have faked in the video. But the one that stood out to me was Max's video on IMVU.
I find the agonizing screams of hundreds of my children pleading for justice.
My children, what?
Justice after their abuse on IMVU. I hear you, and you will go through this alone no more. We will help you.
If you don't know, IMVU is a 3D avatar social networking application. In this video, Max claimed a user named Casey was exploited by Pablo Sonny. Yes, if you've been paying attention, Pablo Sonny is also coincidentally the only predator that Max was able to get arrested. He claimed it was because of this video. The Reddit poster takes issue with a story of a victim named Casey, whose only friend on IMVU was Pablo. Max claims to have reverse image searched Casey's Naruto profile pic to a YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, Max claims he miraculously got access to Casey's unlisted videos she posted. I don't think I have to tell you this, but that's really convenient. And I'm going to tell you anyway. We are currently approaching Dream's Minecraft world record Ender Pearl luck on this Predator investigation. But don't worry, there's more. On her account, there was a video titled, "This is where you raped and killed me," that showcased a bloody white sheet in the woods. Maximum Platypus 69 correctly pointed out that the vast majority of Max's abuse survivor audience interpreted this as Casey either being deceased or taking her own life, following the unlisted video's release. Max would respond later in a Q&A, and it was really awkward.
Is there an update on Casey? Can you talk about how you got into the account or how you found it? Yeah, that's a bit much.
I can't talk too much about Casey. I don't know what I can and can't say I will tell you that yes, she's okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, thank God. I didn't even know that. Holy
Oh,
shit.
she's
That's
okay.
something I wanted to actually jump in VC with you about at some point.
Yes, but
Thank God.
I'm gonna stop talking about it. There's a lot I want to
let's
say
not-
about it, but I can't fucking
let's-
talk about it.
Yeah, we'll respect her privacy too. We'll respect
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
exactly.
secrets for now. Thank you, Max, for that very relieving update.
So apparently, Casey is alive, but many have pointed out
That's
that
good.
aside from Max's
real.
spoken word testimony, if you will, there is no concrete proof that Casey ever existed. Like, at all. Like, at the time of Max's upload, Casey's accounts were deleted. Look, it's one thing to recreate a piece of media to tell a full story of what really happened, and it's another to create an entire human being and plop them down in an active predator investigation because you're a filmmaker.
But what was the cost?
KC157434. 1 follower.
Everything. A teenage girl, known only as the moniker KC157434, takes her own life after being groomed and raped by a man she met on the platform.
Is this girl Casey even a real person? He
No.
claims in his video that he found her no subscriber YouTube channel through a reverse image search using her profile picture on the game IMVU, where he then hacked this girl's YouTube channel
This person's YouTube channel.
and found an unlisted video called "This Is Where You Raped and Killed Me," which is a video that shows assumingly Casey filming the site of her rape and has bloody sheets and a pillow in the middle of the woods. So if the narratives are fake, you not only lied about her death, but also that she was raped too, and made up this whole Batman ARG fake story that you had hackers behind the scenes get into her YouTube channel and find this secret encrypted unlisted video that she uploaded days before, like, herself. This is nuts.
Take a look at the post. I'll link it down below. While I will say the OP's evidence is fairly compelling, much like the other 3 allegations I have just levied, there is unfortunately no concrete proof that Max is lying or faking anything. But what if there was? What if this entire segment was just backstory for the biggest nuke that I've ever dropped in my
Really?
5 years on YouTube? Oh wait, I forgot. Leaked call.
Oh no. Are you dipping too, Max?
I'm down to keep talking to you if you have more questions.
Don't be fooled now, you haven't
Huh?
seen anything yet. In fact, any of the
really.
3 upcoming reveals in isolation would be career-ending for really any YouTuber in Max's field. I also think what you're about to see will be fairly shocking to his audience of sexual abuse survivors that he's farmed for cash month after month on Patreon. For that reason, alongside transparency, I will allow the next 8 excruciating minutes to play unimpeded, and I will only rejoin you after Max Striker's reputation has been thoroughly eviscerated. At the 1-minute mark, your mind will be blown. At the 5-minute mark, you'll be thinking it can't possibly get any worse, and around 2.5 minutes later, you'll realize it can, and it is. Enjoy. So
Ooh, this should be the juice. Gonna drink some liquid. Let's see. This is any good.
Recently, people have been saying that your investigations kind of skew the line between fact and fiction because
Yeah, I would say so.
they're finding things that you've
With all the things that was presented to me from Nick's video, yeah.
created as context for the video. I think people are pointing to the Discord server that you were an admin of when you were showing it. The lawsuit that you changed the name or whatever. How much of what you do is kayfabe and how much of it is legitimately like live? This is the investigation. Here it is.
So, the investigations themselves are real, but obviously the films have fictional elements.
So he even wrote that down there. What? The story is real, but the film is not?
There's multiple reasons, like for example, the admin thing on the Discord server, I had to recreate it.
Yeah.
That was a recreation because I didn't have the originals. The IMVU thing, I wasn't, I don't know why people are saying like it's a film, like it's I am presenting it as if it were to be real, but I didn't think people would take it as that.
But what? If there's abuse going on, then it's a real story. But you faked elements so people can take it seriously. Then if you're telling a fake story, then should we even take you seriously anymore? What? I didn't think they would make my content is real. I didn't think they would think my content is real. What? You presented a story that a person killed themselves. You presented that as real.
Like,
but wait, you hunt files. You don't think that people are going to think your videos are real?
So that's the thing. So I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake.
Why?
Except, like, when I show a people's face and what they're doing. Like,
what?
Because obviously that's all.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, sorry.
I'm just trying to process. Wait. I want you to assume everything I'm showing you is fake, but not the person I'm showing you.
I know I said unimpeded. My bad. Won't happen again.
So I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except, like, when I show a pedo's face and what they're doing. Like, because obviously that's all real. And that's why we include, like, Mega Drive links to show, like, this is the full evidence. This is all real. Everything else should be considered fake, whether it's real or not. Like, if I'm sending viruses to a pedo, whether that's fake or real, that's on purpose.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like if it's not real, why percent? It's I'm trying to everything I'm showing you is fake, except for when I'm showing the person's face. How does that make any logic? Who would come up with that conclusion? Oh, I'm watching a person's video and it's about exposing a pedo, so don't assume it's real. No, people are gonna assume that it's real. Like, for real, man.
Because I don't want people to know if I'm actually sending viruses to pedos, because that's implicating myself.
Okay. So I guess the next logical question from there is just asking, because now it's come up.
Still processing. Yeah, I'm still processing what he's fucking saying.
Saying, like, well, you've never been to court. What have you done? What is the most substantial outcome of a predator hunt that you've done? What is the final nail in the coffin? You're like, if you had to go tell somebody, oh, what do you do? What does Max Striker do? What's your proudest moment?
I'm gonna make stuff up to prove my point. Yeah. Like, it doesn't work if you're trying to, get a pedo. You want all your facts to be facts. You want all the facts to be given to the police to get the person. Like, if MamaMax just wanted to create, like, a channel where he just does, like, fake ARG hunting pedos, then that'll be fine. But you're trying to get real people. And then there are real victims. You know?
Honestly, the hunting pedos isn't my proudest aspect. The thing I'm proud of is inspiring those who are CSA survivors to fight back. That is my goal.
Have you ever gotten someone arrested?
If I have, then I don't know it.
You went to Turkey Tom and you told him that you got someone.
You went on my podcast to tell me that you've got someone arrested and it was because of your video, just to be clear. Would you like to re-answer that question?
I've been emailed stuff like, "Hey, you got this guy arrested. Congratulations."
You
but I'm
went
not,
on and you said this guy was arrested. It was because of me. It was because of my video. And you told me that 2 years ago.
It's kind of egotistical of me to say that it was my video that did it. I don't know that for sure.
But then you said recently that he fled to the Philippines. So was Sonny ever arrested? Pablo Sonny? Did that ever even happen?
Yes, he did. All we know is that his last location we picked him up from was Mexico.
Look at him squirm trying not to answer. Haha, Max, no.
Mexico. Whether he fled to the Philippines or not, we don't know. We just know he has family there, and that's the most likely destination they would go to, just because.
But he was in, like, so he was arrested. That was.
Pablo Sonny? I don't think so. I think he got away.
Okay,
Dude,
so then your video failed.
Yeah, if he was arrested, I have no idea.
He's probably
Why did you tell me he was arrested?
Then he's probably victimizing more people now in the Philippines now. Good job.
You said Pablo Sonny was arrested and my video did it. Why did you lie to me on my show?
Do you have a clip of that?
Yes. It's in something I've been currently editing.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I think there's even a video on YouTube. Actually, can you just jump in the screen share? I'll just pull it over. Because somebody archived it.
I guess I can hear stuff, but I can't see anything.
That's all you need because the visual is a drawing. This is the 2 clips, contrasting clips of Pablo Sonny. What is your primary goal? Is that then? There's no. What's your other?
Well, I guess the question is like the Nick's getting at is like, okay, so you want to enact this change. What do you hope is the eventual result of your video?
Okay.
Of all of this.
So I know there's people out there saying I'm doing it to self-serve. I just want my video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. The rapist that was in the video is currently in police custody. And
was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
Right.
The video.
It's over.
Video was about IMVU and this one predator. I made it about him and him alone.
IMVU is a game, right? You
Yes.
played the game and you exposed this guy.
Yes.
Do you mind walking me through the chain of events that led from your video to him being imprisoned?
Yeah, so I dropped the video. The end of the video is a call to action. Usually all my videos are a call to action, like find him, and we did.
So in this
Imagine John's one, but he lied about pedo. Yeah.
case, find him meant like you didn't know who he was. You wanted his doc so he could go to jail.
All we had was his face and his voice.
Right.
And out of that, I said find him, and then within 24 hours, we found him. And then I started social engineering all of his friends to give me his information, and they did. And then we pegged him. He fled to Mexico. We found where he was in Mexico. I don't know if the police. He was from Canada, so I don't know if the police asked him to come back.
As all terrible people are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the police asked him to come back, or he went on his own volition, or they forced him to come back. I don't know any of those details. I just know he went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time.
So you lied.
So that was what I was told through Instagram posts when I was in contact with his friends.
Oh, okay.
You didn't remember that until I showed you the clip? You didn't remember that, like, this is your biggest crown achievement, that you got a pedophile arrested?
Just remembered now.
I didn't remember the details, no. I just remember he fled to Mexico, all the police custody shit. That was only shit I was told. I couldn't verify any of that.
So you just got on stream and told everybody it was me, I did it, MamaMax, #1.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool now that you're getting exposed for lying.
You can let people know I think that.
Thank you. So that was one of the major points of contention. Last question. This is
Last question.
an ethical question, one of my favorite types of questions. In your previous investigations, what have you done to ensure that the evidence you're passing over to police is sufficient to get, prosecution? And what precautions do you take to make sure it's usable in a court of law?
So with Wayne's probably the best one. I mean, we literally had him in a voice call. Like, it's like the Mega Drive. Like, it's literally us saying we're 14 years old. He's saying, yeah, I want to see your pussy. I want to see, like, want you to ride me and shit like that to what he thinks is a 14-year-old, and we've
That's crazy.
verified that by telling him like, I don't know, I'm young, I don't know, I'm only 14. I think that should be sufficient to put him in prison, but the law says otherwise.
He takes zero ethical precaution. Yeah, none. You have to gather evidence. You have to make sure it's sufficient enough. If you don't know, go to the police first.
Otherwise, I suppose, because as far as I know, he hasn't been imprisoned, and people have been I received an email that someone was going to talk to the deputy about why he hasn't been arrested, and I'm also actually going to start interviewing police local to me as to why pedophiles don't get arrested, because I know they all want to arrest them. It's just the law binds them.
So you've never actually gotten a pedophile arrested?
No, he never got anyone.
Not to my knowledge.
So your content is just making fun of pedophiles online?
I suppose, like I said, my biggest goal is to inspire survivors to fight back. And
What?
if I can...
Oh yeah, remember how he said that like in the beginning of his video, the video where he was like, my videos exist to have to be told in a way where the victims are no longer the victims, but now they become the hunters of the pedos. Like some cinematic universe, like you're supposed to be taking the video serious. So because he doesn't take any of this serious, he doesn't care about what happens to the pedo. It's just like, yeah, my video is done. My Max verse gets expanded. And whatever. Who cares what happens? What's it called? I will put on the cape and show that I am a superhero. You did nothing. You're not doing anything.
If I can do that, then I feel like I've done an adequate job.
So as it turns out...
An adequate job. No arrests. They're freely walking about if they did anything. But job well done. Pat on the back.
It was never a question of conviction. No wonder Max has never been to court before. In his 5 years of playing dress-up predator hunter, Max was never even able to secure so much as an arrest. As it turns out, all you need to be a distinguished predator hunter on YouTube is to farm inadmissible evidence by pretending you're a minor and sexting those predators. In fact, let the record show, we can count at least one time Max has sent pictures of his own ass to perverts online so they can record themselves beating off to it. But we can't count at least one time Max has investigated a predator that has led to an arrest.
I could not get his name, his personal social media, and above all else, I could not get his face, at least until I sent him a picture of my ass. Oh shit! And yes, that is my actual ass. So why don't you go to Patreon and support me sending my ass to pedophiles, ruining their pitiful little lives after my ass makes them horny enough to send me a picture of their face that I then publish to all of you.
Somebody get this guy's Patreon. We need to fund this operation more. So just to clarify, the vast majority of Max's content is fake. He's flabbergasted that you stupid viewers thought it was real. He's also lied about getting arrested to try to bolster his credibility in the past, and he can't even keep his story.
Remember, I was watching like Blacks, and he was like, "Yeah, fucking MamaMax came up to us. We were just sitting, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm a pedo hunter." And Bob was actually like, "Okay." Big flex there, and now it's all, and all of that's fake. Whoa.
right now. Finally, when asked what he does to make sure his investigations are
He's very
ethical
brave.
and could lead to prosecution,
How
Max
could
more
we
or less
survive without
confirms that
MamaMax
he's
in the
a
world?
content vigilante with no ethical framework for serious stories. I hope now it's become evident why he responds so dramatically to the slightest criticism. Max is a liar. Max is a con artist. And now everyone knows it.
Is there a single person that MamaMax can point to that he can claim conclusively was arrested as a result of one of his investigations or reports?
Have you ever gotten someone arrested?
If I have.
If you take an L, a zero, and another L, it's LOL, because that's what his videos are. Funny.
Then I don't know.
If you actually watched his other videos, like the one on IMVU, he tried to do the exact same thing.
Because it's a scam.
He caught MV.
Because it's a scam.
Tommy, did you know that
it's a scam.
that he claims he got one person in jail, but he won't reveal their identity?
Yes, because it's a scam.
The IMVU thing.
Tommy's on point
I
there.
wasn't. I don't know why people are saying I like it's a film. Like I am
film.
presenting it as if
It's
it
not
were
real,
to
bro.
be real, but I didn't think people would take it as that. Like, so I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except like when I show a pedo's face and what they're doing.
What bothers me is your answer right there. You've been doing this for 5 years and you don't know how the process goes? How
I've
many
never
people
been
have you actually caught?
I've never been to court.
Oh, well then shit, that makes sense then. There you go, folks.
I'm glad
You're a vigilante for views only. You're a vigilante for views only.
So you've never actually gotten a pedophile arrested?
Not to my knowledge.
So your content is
Not
just
to my
making
knowledge.
fun of
I don't know
pedophiles online.
I don't know how to do any of this.
I suppose.
I need your
Like I
guys'
said,
help.
my
I need
biggest
a
goal
Buddha
is to
strip.
inspire survivors.
It did what it needed to do.
Maybe if
The
Buddha
fist
gave
that
him
was in
some
the video
Slurpees
is
from his
currently in
7-Eleven,
police
maybe he could have
custody.
caught him.
And it
Was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
You went on and you said, this guy was arrested, it was because of me, it was because of my video.
It's kind of egotistical of me to say that it was my video that did it. I don't know that for sure.
But then you said recently that he fled to the Philippines, so was Sonny ever arrested? Pablo
No.
Sonny? Did that ever even happen?
Pablo Sonny? I don't think so.
Look at
I
that
think he
dog.
got
That
away.
dog needs to
I'm
be
using you to
rescued
deflect
from
criticism.
MamaMax.
I am still getting
He's probably
criticism.
gonna accuse his dog as being a pedo
shielding me
next.
from anything. I am still getting criticism. People have been playing that card for so long. Oh, you use survivors to shield from criticism. I've never shielded myself from. I almost always just get criticism. Well, I'm asking why you did not directly contact me, but contact us only in public streams.
Max, I've seen your latest video. I've caught up with this whole situation. I have texted you.
What it felt like seeing him on streams.
You went on with.
Hold on, can you put Max on for a second?
I'm right here.
That was snaky as dude. Oh, I'm coming after you, Mudahar. Stand back, Spencer. Can you tell him what you felt? You are literally just a little snake hiding behind her, dude. That's disgusting.
Can you listen to me?
The majority of MamaMax's die-hard audience are sexual abuse survivors, and he's currently taking advantage of them.
So
It's the
far, we
perfect
only saw
grift,
one
really. Why would you
that I know
criticize a
of.
guy who's going after predators? Why would you put in work to do it right? That doesn't pay well. Just blame the police. I mean, people already hate the police, right?
I don't want to
Yeah,
wait for the
should've blamed the
bureaucracy
police
of,
instead of fucking
of
other
law
YouTubers.
enforcement to take their time when it's already been 7 years with
7 years. And MamaMax said he's known about this for 2 years and still couldn't get enough evidence, even though there were 10 other people that could have gone to the police station and told the police.
multiple
They could have gotten a search warrant if they're in America, and they could have searched the place, because with 10 people, that's enough for a search warrant.
reports. Like, that's ridiculous. And that's also why we're taking them to court as well, because this is absurd.
Keemstar, remember when you were making out?
Keemstar, remember when you were calling that person the N-word? Why won't you do it to this person too?
With your first girlfriend, and you came right as she touched your leg. It was me. I jerked you off at super speed so it seemed like you nutted at just a woman's touch.
There's one more topic on the docket that we need to discuss. I mentioned earlier that Max's exes and former friends have come together to accuse him of abuse. This is not something I feel equipped to discuss at this moment in time, and that would be for a separate video by a separate creator. What I can talk about is the allegation that Max levied against the video's creator, Magnetar, before his real name became known as Anthony Field.
Anthony Field, Haley's boyfriend, Magnetar.
Oh yeah, I remember this. He was so thirsty for another girl that he accused her boyfriend as a pedo, so he can swoop in and be like, "Hey baby, you want to be my girlfriend now?"
YouTube, the one who published this video on me.
How long is this?
Anthony has essentially had his life ruined by MamaMax. The call out led to his job getting bombarded, and the emails received were disgusting. It's one thing to be falsely accused by some loser online, like I'm Alex, and it's another thing for a respected predator hunter to make claims he is completely unable to prove against you. The allegations levied by Max are completely unsubstantiated by his own admission. The only people who claim to have seen the unobtainable proof of this interaction occurring is an undisclosed girl and Max's own sister. Max has every reason to slander this person, as they are the vessel of the allegations being made against him. Ignoring Max's previously unknown history of lies, I'm still going—
And also remember, because his videos are not supposed to be meant to be taken serious, then he made this as a joke, you know, because, oh, it's not real, like, you know, there's just a storyline of my multiverse.
Going to need to see more proof than my sister's friend told me this occurred. The reality is, Max's credibility alone carried this allegation.
Now, it turns out that the guy who orchestrated the video...
Calling P-word no evidence. That's the new meta.
Might be
It used to be, you know, calling someone racist, but now the new meta is calling someone a P-word.
Right.
Might be a bit. Yeah. We sent out.
Where does it end? Where does the cycle end?
Like
and
Max showed
apparently, was this a White House interning with Obama or something? Like there was this whole weird arc in there.
Yeah. Because me and my girlfriend were like, we know Max, so it's like we just want to know this whole thing. And you got to imagine, like, if you're the guy running these things and you have a possible history.
I mean, to be honest, looking at it from his perspective, Max is this guy who obviously has a chip on his shoulder and hates this dude, right?
Yeah.
And he's making videos about catching. He's just scared that one of the videos will be about him. So he's trying to discredit Max first.
Imagine that. Yeah. The projection. Oh my god, that's so fun.
At best, it made people like myself second guess looking into these allegations those 5 girls made and Anthony published. At worst, people like Mutahar and his co-host took Max's words, insinuated they could be valid off of no substantial evidence, and echoed them, effectively shutting down the story and further harming Anthony's reputation. I would like to personally apologize to Anthony for not looking further into Max back then. Maybe we could have salvaged this situation, and maybe we could have saved the current 8 girls a lot of trouble. I am, however, proud that we could get Magnetar and Mutahar together, just to hash out their differences. It is worth noting that Camden Gerard Davis's alleged abuse victim Spencer, who's also Max's roommate and friend, who's also friends with Max's sister, who's also friends with Anthony's alleged victim, claims that Anthony dressed up like a student after graduating to eat lunch at school with freshman girls. Oh, and because this is MamaMax, of course there's no evidence of that either. The dude apparently dressed up in a school uniform, snuck in multiple times, and not a single person snapped a picture of him. Nice.
So this is what I'm saying. There's multiple things against Anthony Field. For me, I feel comfortable saying he is a pedophile. I don't feel he could do anything to me legally for saying that, because if he were to, the girl who made the testimony would come forward and testify.
So she has his dick pic and has timestamps of when it was sent. That's real. That exists.
He does not have his dick pic.
So what does she have that she could come forward with?
Just her memory. But
so
you don't think that you could legally be held liable for the statements you're making if he were to sue you because you have someone who can come forward and tell you it happened?
Well, I am just documenting what she said.
No, you are calling him a file.
Correct. And to be able to successfully sue me for defamation, he would have to prove that I am lying, which I am not, because the girl is real and she sent me those DMs.
Now the serious stuff is out of the way, does anyone remember the time that MamaMax tried to shill his beats to Anthony Fantano? Well, as it turns out, MamaMax made an entire song about how he wants pedophiles to perform oral sex on him. Initially, this segment was just going to be cut from my video, but then I got an idea.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news? It's track reviews.
Hey,
Track
hi,
reviews.
and hello,
Oh.
everyone. Anthony Fantano here,
What's Anthony
internet's
Fantano?
busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. The man, the myth, the rage legend, as everyone knows, he has a brand new LP coming out just around the corner. He is being a bit mysterious about its drop per usual, but we know it's close because he's putting out new indie ace.
Refrain from even now, my they believe I don't know how such evil sins can be allowed.
The poll is out. How do you feel about the track? Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I
Let me
hate it.
know in the poll.
It's
It's
so
a little washed
gross.
out, so it's difficult to say what exactly it is or how many pieces it's made of. All I know is with the beat, it makes for a pretty hypnotic combination.
Sorry, one more interjection. I had to look this up because I remembered it and I couldn't believe this was
guess I
true.
listened
But
to the
Max
conclusion and
actually
that's it.
reached out to me to ask if I wanted to be put in a group chat because he was dropping something that was going to make waves in the community. And it was
Waves.
fucking this. It was literally this song. Like, this diss track on Pios was going to blow the airwaves wide open. I'm done.
It's at this point one of the more weird and eyebrow-raising lines pop out on the entire track.
Oh no! Till the end to see what you made of these kids.
Anthony Fantano.
Name and Max.
Forever.
In conclusion, this video proves that Max Stryker is a complete and total fraud. His persona
Yes.
MamaMax is a freak who does not help children prosecute their abusers. He hunts predators online as a soldier of fortune. He lies about his accomplishments to bolster his credibility. He manipulates his audience of abuse survivors by not disclosing large portions of his content are completely fake. And he uses credibility he never deserved in the first place to silence and ruin other people's lives. Just look at how he treated Tommy C. The man was Max's first real persistent critic, and during the videos he was
Roblox. MamaMax on Tommy C. Super funny segment.
supposedly hunting predators. Max took time out of his day to create a QR code campaign about Tommy and talk about sexually dominating him. The stuff on screen right now is completely psychotic and even more.
Okay, that's this. What's this all about? You saw my tweet and got triggered, PTSD. YouTube wake up, and when then your own worm brain, sorry, immediately postulate the entirety of my character / video based on that. You were refused for any further research before going live. Wow, you truly have my respect, because only the bravest souls would dare to make himself look stupid. Stick to a narrative for an entire live stream solely on the delusions of a single tweet. It is a masterful feat. Unfortunately, you are going to be bullied by thousands for it now. Sorry, bud. I actually do give a shit about kids. I hope to be the great
More so with the
great father I hope to be a great father someday, but I know there's nothing I can say or do to convince you out of the story you seem to be telling yourself, so I won't try. In spite of that, however, I think I should inform you that this is just another thing you should have done more research on before you opened your mouth. I have said this before publicly many different times. I don't do this for the kids. I do this because I like hurting people. Whoa.
information we
I'm not sure what the half-wit is saying here, so I guess I'll just use this QR code to predict he will call me cringe, edgy, and use "I like hurting people" as some kind of proof that I'm a psychopath or some other dumb shit. Obviously, I don't like hurting innocent people. You goofball. I like to bully lesser men who touch kids or hurt animals, or in this case, the man-child who slithered out. The man-child who slithered out of his mother's filthy just to other. Ugh. The man-child who slithered out of his mother's filth just to spend his life squealing about his worthless opinions on the internet. Is this MamaMax fucking talking? He's fucking psychotic.
Now know about.
Because it was just strategically better for us that we have you scream about my video for over an hour to your audience just as we predicted you would, rather than inviting you to talk about a serious issue for 30 seconds on my video. That is why you did not get the DM, sweetie. Whoa, what? My God, you sound so sure of yourself here. It is so sad that you were completely wrong. Sweating emoji. By the way, how much did your surgery cost? Because I have no idea how to fix my head up my ass like that. Or can you just do that naturally? And let's be real, champ. If I sent you the invite, you would have been sucking the semen out of my cock to defend me, but I much prefer doing anal with you instead. Whoa, bro.
How fraudulent.
Oh, but it's okay, because it is all blown out of the way more than it is. He is just bleeding. That's because Tommy didn't want to talk to him before watching the video. Whoa, really? He said this because he didn't want to talk to MamaMax before watching the video? How retarded is he? Oh, but it's okay because this is all blown out of the way more than it is. He is just bleeding heart liberal, guys. This is nothing more than a dumb cancellation attempt, right? Hashtag 46853. Yeah, just spin another deception story every time you fuck up so everyone can hopefully ignore the fact that you are a spineless moron. He's a pedo. You sided with him, and now you are trying to forfeit any accountability by downplaying all of it. Grow some balls for once in your pathetic life, you fucking pussy. You could have at least had my respect. If you had, I could have filled this section with Lyrics and Tipster instead of you, but at least Lyrics was smart enough to delete this, to delete his video, and Tipster was man enough to apologize. You are neither. I actually think you are contradict yourself about over 150 times in just the 3 live streams I showcase here today, and if anybody wants to make a video to prove it, I would absolutely watch that for entertainment. Is he just... And MamaMax wanted to talk to him. Tommy doesn't criticize him. Wait, he just says this and Tommy is like, didn't even criticize the video? What a weird person. And Tommy said, no, I'm gonna watch the video and see if it shows first. If it shows first, okay, yeah, shows first, and Max got upset. Whoa, what a retard. Can I move this fucking... I hate fucking YouTube. Whatever. Bro, if Tommy just wanted to watch a video before talking to you, then that's his prerogative. I don't understand why he took that as like a threat of violence to send this like schizo post. Imagine flamenco screaming, but instead he just sends you like a book worthy, a long book story about how he doesn't like you.
Max's activity.
And it still keeps going on. Forever and ever. Let me check here. Okay, it's almost over. Let's keep reading. So here's what happened. I released a video. He starts to stream about me in my video without asking me or anyone else who was involved in any questions about it or conducting even a basic research first. Isn't your video the research? Like, bro, your video is the research. He's watching your research. Even though we were friends on Discord at the time, so he purposely chose not to reach out. What if he was just watching the video because, you know, it's the evidence, you know, of it, you know? But it's all good because I found his stream and kindly asked him in the chat if we could talk like gentlemen usually do. But I guess he didn't want to be challenged whilst trying to erect his narrative of me from the ground up, so he made me wait. Did Tommy even criticize MamaMax's video? I'm pretty sure he said like he liked it. Right? I told them my time was limited because I had to do a podcast later. They still refused, so I left to do the podcast, and he then immediately invited a pedophile on top of his hype man to watch it. Who's the pedophile? Matt is not one. Tommy is not one. So who is he talking about? Oh, who cares? Both of them desperately suckling for his trembling cock to hopefully keep it afloat the entire stream. Bro.
These have been. I mean, look at the...
Bro. I think you're going a little bit too crazy here. Okay, good. You like that shit? You like being cut off in the middle of a point so you can make, so I can make you look like an idiot before you finish what you're saying. Honestly though, this is to my detriment because every word you breathe puts you an inch lower in the ground. But I will let the stupid people show you that. Whoa. Don't let the small section of the live stream fool you. I cherry-picked it. But that's not why I'm showing you this, even though it is particular why he treats pedophiles more friendly than someone who hunts them. Tommy doesn't like pedophiles, like, at all. Let me see. And Tommy said, no, I'm gonna watch the video and see what it shows first. Then Max got upset. He didn't trust Max, but I don't remember why he criticized him. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Tommy said that he liked the filmmaking of the video. But that was so long time ago. You even admit... The reason I'm showing you this is because 46853 has a pattern of giving a platform to pedophiles in defense of themselves. Perhaps you are unaware. Not perhaps. You absolutely are unaware of a lot of things. You even admit to it in previous live stream. But pedophiles are using you. And goes for all commentary communities who continue to give them a platform to speak. It's the only thing that Peds and I have in common. We're using you. Well, you're using Tommy? Bro, Tommy's like old. Let me see. Let's see the first thing he said. That's what I'm more curious about. Well, okay. One, I don't want to spend an hour of watching on this section just to bully 46853. As fun and entertaining as it may be, bullying YouTubers that are not Pete's or Zeus is not the type of content I make, but I do fervently believe justice should be served to those who have gone unpunished. Bro, justice, I fervently believe justice should be served to those who have gone unpunished. No one that you have called out in your videos have been punished. The only people that have been punished was the ones that you wrongfully accused. He got fired from his job. So I'm gonna use QR codes to say that I'm gonna say those who want to read these can. Those who don't want to don't have to. When exactly did I lie in the video? I could swear I was very upfront about purposely causing a shitstorm about YouTube on Twitter to evoke a response from them and subsequently starting artificial drama in the YouTube and to ensure that the message gets seen, or am I mistaken? Thank you so much for reaffirming what we already know, because I have outwardly said many times that I am not a journalist publicly, even in the past videos, and despise being called one. You make it sound as if you didn't know that, but it's okay, little buddy. Surface level research is tough sometimes. Surface level research. Dude, you didn't do research on a freaking... What's his name? The black guy there that's a werewolf. You didn't fucking do the basic level research of getting the evidence of the other girls. What? I'm sorry you feel this way about yourself. I always wonder why you have such a sadness in your eyes. I guess I know. Damn, now I feel bad for you. All this bullying. Well, but I'm only half your age. Should that be a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, let's see. Alright, go back. Hey, shush, 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 shush. It'll be okay, little guy. It'll be okay, little guy. You don't have to scream. Let's use our inside voice. Hugs you. Just tell us what's wrong. Did someone hurt you? Gently rubs your shoulder. What the fuck? Whoa. Hey, shimmer down there, buddy. What's with all the hostility? I never said you or anyone else looked like a creepy Pete. Let alone a non-creepy look, Pete. Did I? Is that why you're so mad? Do you think I called you a Pete? Well, I never did. Kisses you on the forehead. There. Does that feel better? Bro, what the fuck is this? Gay roleplay? Ah, okay, so I think this is where I started reading. Ah, okay. That's what it's all about. You saw my tweet and got triggered and triggered your PTSD from your YouTube wake up, and then your worm brain immediately postulated that the entire entity of my character, no, that the entirety of my character slash video based on that, and you refuse to do any further research before going live. Wow. You truly have my respect, because only the bravest souls would have dared to make himself look stupid stick to a narrative for an entire live stream solely on the delusions of a single tweet. It is because the bravest souls would have dared to make himself look so stupid stick to a narrative for an entire live stream solely on the delusion of a single tweet is a masterful feat. Unfortunately, you are going to be bullied by thousands for it now. So sorry, bud. Damn. What a cunt.
He never deserved in the first place to silence and ruin other people's lives. Just look at how he treated Tommy C. The man was Max's first real persistent critic, and during the videos he was supposedly hunting predators, Max took time out of his day to create a QR code campaign about Tommy and talk about sexually dominating him. The stuff on screen right now is completely psychotic, and even more so with the information we now know about how fraudulent Max's activities have been. I mean, look at the comments. Look at what people said to Tommy just because he spoke up and questioned the current narrative. MamaMax does not deserve anyone's support. MamaMax does not deserve a second chance. This is not a community that can offer one. This is a malicious person who preys on his supporters. He is the predator to them. To the girls Max is helping fight against Camden Gerard Davis, you claim to have escaped one cult. Don't be foolish now and fall into another. And MamaMax, this part is me speaking directly.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even believe she was in a cult, and I think this all was made up. Thinking that this can bring MamaMax more subs and money, and to jumpstart a person's YouTube channel. I don't think any of this is real, because why would any of this be real if the past stuff, like, even he admitted, like, his videos are fake? No, his films are fake? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't even believe, like, there's a cult going on. I haven't even seen the other girls. They don't even exist. As far as I know.
Directly to you. I know you, Max. I know how you operate. My friends and I know what you're about to say, so we have to spell it out for you. Yo, John Swan, drop the bass.
Though we are different, we are all the same. Because above all else...
Okay, that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. The rest is just videos of others. Wait, Footy Beauty? I gotta watch this part.
I think that's cruel, and I've been told to tell you to stop making friends in Texas. I'm sure you would like to be on this beach with your werewolf teeth.
That was awesome. That part was worth it. Okay. And that's it. That is fucking it. You sure? I should watch it.
Base.
Though we are different, we are all the same. Because above all else, there's one thing that holds us together.
If you say so, it's funny. I'll watch it.
Like P-words.
Camden Gerard Davis is a child predator that has molested hundreds of children under the pretense of a vampire werewolf cult. It's absolutely crucial.
You know who this guy reminds me of? Not the white dude, but the black guy. It reminds me of the chocolate rain guy.
We spread awareness of him.
Camden Gerard Davis's time is up. He's about to be exposed.
Camden Gerard Davis, you're going to jail.
There is a pedophile pretending
Oh,
to be
Black's
a
Poppy.
vampire. So if you come across Cameron Gerard Davis, be sure to contact MamaMax immediately in order to get this guy arrested for charity fraud.
Camden, who are you? Someone in my chat was just talking about you. Thank you for the prize.
Hashtag we are real.
In Camden, Jared Davis. Should I say, don't feel depressed just because you're a vampire werewolf. People are saying mean to you. The Leviathan will come for your enemies. Getting patient.
Camden Gerard Davis is a stupid name.
Didn't this guy die?
Get no
Oh no, that was the other guy. Never mind.
You vampire piece of shit!
We are real, Camden Gerard Davis. Whatever you may or may not have done. I'm not really sure.
Camden Gerard Davis. Those teeth are fake. They make you look stupid. And there's no such thing as a black vampire.
Cameron, Gerard the completionist. Where's the charity money? The Leviathans are.
Oh, for a second I thought it was Xander Hall, but then it took me a while. That was, oh wait, no, this is Kristen Ark.
How's it going, everyone? I'm here in my garage. I want to give a quick shout out.
Is this Stumpy?
Out to Cameron Pro Jared the completionist. Shout out to you, my dude.
The time for action is now. MamaMax needs our help. Camden Gerard Davis. MamaMax needs our help.
Well, hello, Camden Gerard Davis. So I've been told to roast you because you wear werewolf teeth, and I guess you think that's cool. And I've been told to tell you to stop making friends in Texas. I'm sure you would like to be on this beach with your werewolf teeth.
Cameron Gerard Davis,
Oh
more
my
like
God,
Cameron
it's Tom
Gerard
Dark.
Davis, am I right? Because that dude is cringe, yeah. Buh.
Camden Gerard Davis, the Leviathan, is coming for you, whatever that is. I wasn't given much context.
As a member of the Chinese Communist Party, Camden Gerard Davis, we are coming for you.
Honestly, I have no fucking clue who
Mike the
Camden
Bike, yeah,
Gerard is. But
I don't know
I'm
who
just
this
happy
guy
to be
is.
Camden Gerard Davis. I am
this guy
standing
is either.
on your plot of land purchased from established titles, and I will be notifying MamaMax when you arrive.
Beware.
Ah, established. Okay, that guy. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, hiding in your local inner cities could be Camden Gerard Davis, who's not only a vampire pedophile, but a vampire werewolf hybrid pedophile. Not many people know that fact about him.
We'll see you, probably never again.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Okay, that's enough. Well, I guess, I mean, how are you gonna take down a werewolf? The police can't, like, shoot him. I mean, maybe a silver bullet, but if he's a werewolf vampire hybrid, then, like, a silver bullet won't be enough. Not even Garlic can take him down. That really is a tough one to get. But we'll see if, like, anything happens, or another one will get away. Or this was never even real to begin with. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep.